Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Draw 5 of the 1824 Stu Sells Classic, coming to you from the Halifax Curling Club in Halifax, Nova Scotia. My name is Tommy Bragnello. I'm joined by the ever-energetic Carly Jones. She's already got her Red Bull fired up and ready to go, so we hopefully have a very entertaining draw for you here today. Carly, can you tell us about the teams we have today?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just to talk about the Red Bull real quick, it's been a long week, and we need to have full energy for this broadcast, so happy to be here with you. So I think these are some familiar faces to the curling world here today. We're bringing the A semifinal to you live. We have Team Brad Gushu up against Team James Grattan. So it looks like Brad Gushu did win hammer in the draw of the button. He actually completely covered the pin perfectly.
Surprisingly.
I know, right? So we have Jamie Brandon here starting off here in the first end.
Okay, so it looks like we have Team Grattan throwing the red stones here, and so Team Gushu will be throwing the yellow stones. As we get rolling here, I want to take a quick shout out to our title sponsor. We have Steel Subaru this year for our sponsor, Steel Subaru. Steel Subaru, because sometimes the hammer isn't as important as you think it is.
And just to let everyone know, there are 4 games going on here today. We have 2 games from the B event. So we have Team Stuart Thompson taking on Team Jamie Murphy on Sheet 1. On Sheet 2, we have the other A semifinal. That's Team Graham Weagle versus Paul Dexter. And on Sheet 4, we have another B event game where we have Brent McDougall facing, I believe, Trent Skeens from Newfoundland.
Now, just very quickly, Carly, I know that our feature game here is James Grattan versus Brad Gushu, but do you have any kind of bias towards the winner on Sheet 2 from the right?
Well, Sheet 2 from the right, my partner Bryce is on Team Paul Dexter, so definitely rooting for them. Glad they're not on our sheets right now.
We actually had to switch the games to conflict of interest. We were worried that Carly wasn't going to be a unbiased announcer, so we had to kind of shift this over.
Well, it's not necessarily that. It's every time I commentate when he plays, he seems to give up 6-enders. So we've decided I no longer am allowed to commentate when he's curling. So.
All right. So on to our feature game here. So we have started off on a bit of a conservative start here. Grattan's first stone went into the rings, and Gushu went up and hit it. Now it looks like Gushu is throwing up the corner guard. So we'll make it a little bit of offense going. Excellent.
And as you can see here, Jeff Walker is not playing this weekend. The team, Brad Gushu, has picked up a player from Newfoundland, a junior player. His name is Ryan McNeil Lambswood, and quite an accomplished junior, actually. I noticed that Team Gushu posted on their Facebook account a little bit about what he's accomplished, and he's actually represented Newfoundland 5 times at the Canadian Junior Championship, which is quite impressive.
Okay, so the corner guard goes up here, Jamie. And it looks like Grattan is coming to put up a center guard.
Yeah, you're fine if you shoot me.
Now, I don't think he's actually trying to cover his own stone here. Is that right, Carly?
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, I think he's just looking to get
Keep going.
a nice tight guard covering the center line. I mean, it's early on in the end right now, right? He wants to have the control zone, right? So a center line guard will set him up nicely as the end goes on. So we have Brett Gallant here.
Also a fairly accomplished junior curler in his day, and I mean, I guess he's done a little bit on the men's scene as well. So it looks like he's coming down with the quiet weight to hit and flip under.
Trying to work this one for curl here.
Whoa, sit.
Okay. Just didn't curl as much as they expected. Perhaps maybe he threw a little bit more weight than he wanted to. It's always tough in the first end, right? When the ice is still a little fresh, they don't want to risk accidentally underthrowing it. Oftentimes teams will err on the side of potentially throwing it a bit heavier in case there's some unexpected curl. And from watching the games here this week, it looks like there's a lot of curl on this ice. You can see We're taking at least edge of 8 here on this draw. And in earlier games at the beginning of the week, yesterday I saw even into the 12-foot as well.
Line's good.
I should also note they did not have a full practice before these games. It was only, I believe, 4 stones up and back. And so without that extra work from that full practice, there might be a couple of lines that don't quite get fully up to speed right away, so that could have a little bit of impact really on some of those quiet weight hits that aren't down those typical draw paths.
Yeah, exactly.
So a very nice come around here. A little sliver looks like it might be showing on the outside there, but a pretty solid come around. Looks like Gushu is going for the run back.
Very nice shot. Rolled over just off to the side of the forefoot there, and it's a nice spot. It's definitely nicer not to stay right on the center line, to kind of roll away and leave him some options with corners. I think he's pretty happy with that result.
Yeah, I don't see any complaints coming up, and it looks like Team Grattan is going to follow him around that corner guard, taking play away from center. That leaves, even if they do make this really well, at the end of the day, Gushu would have a open draw to the forefoot to be able to get their one if necessary. However, knowing Team Brad Gushu, they're not looking for just one.
So we have Paul Dobson here throwing third stones for the Grattan rink.
Andy. Yeah, you gotta go. Go.
The Grattan rink as well as the Gushu rink were recently here as well for the Dave Jones Mayflower Spiel. And Brad Gushu did become the champion of that tournament. So it's great to see teams like Gushu and Grattan making sure that they're coming to these events, especially with COVID. It's really difficult. There's obviously not as many events going on. Gushu was here last year, but typically we usually will only see him come here for maybe one event, if we're lucky, right? So it's really nice to see them here and playing and taking advantage of the Atlantic bubble.
So the come around from Team Grattan didn't quite get buried. It's probably about half to 3/4 open here, and Gushu's falling down with a quiet weight hit. Looks like they're trying to roll away, pretty much right open where that roll goes, but a pretty good outcome altogether.
What? One hack, yeah. It was more than hack though. We had a thick half there. And
Do you want to keep it high?
oh yeah, yeah.
So it looks like Grattan's going for the hit and roll back, trying to go behind that tight corner. Is there any reason they wouldn't go behind the other corner guard there, Carly? Why are they looking for this roll?
I think, well, the other yellow guard's a little bit closer to center, so it keeps the play a bit more to center. But I think if he went behind the other corner guard, he would potentially be behind T-line and make it pretty easy for Gushu to set up for his deuce. So I think this is the right way to roll for sure.
Well, the strategy would probably be make things as difficult for Brad Gushu as you possibly can.
Yeah.
All right, so they got a little hit and flip here, but it looks like it's still pretty much wide open, about a couple inches of air. And so Gushu is going to now go aggressively for this hit and flip under, try to get one buried in there and put the pressure onto Team Grattan.
Yeah, and I don't think they were expecting that rock to roll as much as it did. No one was really there to sweep the roll. They kind of just watched it come across. But yeah, an opportunity here if Mark can get a nice flop under.
I like the weight just to keep
some
it
pressure
higher. You know
on
they're damn well you're going to
James.
go back behind the T-line with board. And I'd rather make them have to make it.
So sweeper's on it right out of his hand here. Easing off now a little. We have such great ice here that, I mean, you will use your sweepers a lot, but these top teams really can make these shots quite well. Now this one here, they seem to have lost there. They hopped off a little and seems to have overcurled.
Yeah, he didn't throw much weight on that. Didn't expect him to either,
firmy.
But again, there's that sneaky curl that comes in, right? Especially in the first end. Sometimes you might get some more curl than later on in the
I think
game.
it was probably a little less weight.
And this seems like a call about kind of knowing who you're playing against. You could aggressively try to go behind one of those corners, try to force the issue a little bit. They're just going to hit this open rock here. and try to limit the number of stones that Gushu can get in the rings and make it hopefully either get a force or a blank out of this and move on and reset.
Nose hit, probably. Yeah.
The first one?
So James, for everyone listening in, has represented New Brunswick with 10 Brier appearances and finished third place in 1997, so that was his best finish. And he curls out of the Gage Golf and Country Club in Ormukdo and works as a customer service agent with Air Canada. So he's very busy with work right now.
I mean, he probably is. There'd be a lot of people calling trying to get their refunds.
Probably. On this side a little bit, maybe. You chase it.
That or he's curling a lot. So
maybe roll a half quarter buried or something like that.
so nice shot there by James to start off the game.
Yeah, I think that for that one there, they kind of want to stay right around there. You don't want to really roll behind that corner guard. If you do, that almost forces Gushu to play the come around and opens up a chance for a bigger end here. This kind of makes, if he makes the hit and roll perfectly, then Grattan might have a short run back to hopefully get the blank out of this end. Or if it sits behind T-line, he might come down and freeze to as well himself.
Okay. No, closer to normal. Easy, easy. Whoa, Brett!
So the sweepers are just kind of trying to make this curl a little bit here. It's looking pretty close.
Roll it!
A little flip inside. Not quite enough to get her buried, but enough to
Take a little off
at least stick around in play there. You'll probably see Grattan come back and follow him down. Try to get a little more of a roll this time. And try to get the force here.
I didn't have to roll much
control.
more.
Really nice opportunity to
Another half
force
a rock.
here for sure.
Another half
Sometimes
a
a
roll.
little far and few between against Gushu, so definitely want to
taking the roll
hunker
underneath
down
the
on
way.
this one and make it worthwhile. And it's a similar path to his last one, so
Control. It doesn't seem
he's got a little information as well to work with.
I don't think.
Back in Thunder Bay, I think they call this the hotter hunker down.
They're hunker down.
No, it's just fine.
If anyone from Thunder Bay is listening, they know exactly what that means.
I'm not going to be light control, so that'll be fine.
Both Carly and I are originally from Thunder Bay, so there might be a couple more of those local references, that local colloquialisms as they're called, I guess, that we would use back home for shots like this. So
Yes.
just stay tuned.
I was told that's the reason why we are commentating together. So
Whoa, 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 whoa.
All right, so here comes Grattan's shot here. They're hitting to try and make a curl here. Looks like it's hanging a little bit again. So again, under curl, there's been a couple stones down this line that just haven't quite curled as much as they expected them to, even early on in the end.
I think it's a spot we're going to want to keep an eye on, especially just outside the middle of the 8-foot line. There might be a little bit of a straight run there. And this is typical for this sheet. I do curl here usually a couple times a week. And I play in the Thursday night league here as well, so it's not uncommon to see this side of the sheet run a little bit straighter, typically. So we'll see if that proves to be right throughout the game.
We'll see if these teams, I mean, if they manage to pick up on that. I know that, well, I mean, they're elite teams, but they're used to really good ice. You know, little discrepancies, they're not quite used to that.
Well, this is true. You make a good point.
So easily makes that hit and roll away for the blank, and we'll move on to the second end.
So just to let everyone know at home, the Halifax Curling
Is that a
Club
different
every
kid than
year
last week?
during the
What's that?
Stu
The guys
Cells
playing
has a
league for you.
silent
Yeah, it's the same
auction.
guy, yeah.
And of
Yeah,
course,
they're
silent
teammates.
auctions aren't the most
They both lost.
COVID-friendly
Yeah, that's right, I
remember
activities.
that now.
So
Canadian
what they're
junior
doing
final
is
auction.
moving that online. So the auction bidding opens tonight at 5 p.m. and it's actually going to be open for 3 weeks. Many great prizes on there that can be won. Note that I said won, even though it's a silent auction and you're paying for it, you can be the winner.
Well, you're the winner for bidding the most,
Yes.
the most aggressively.
Yeah. I personally love silent auctions. So to participate, you can go to 32auctions.com/HCC fall fundraiser.
Oh, you then. Line's
Create an
fine.
account, and you can start bidding on your items of choice.
And that is 32, the numbers 32, not the spelling of 32.
Yes.
32auctions.com/HCC fall fundraiser.
So I missed the call
Join
on
us
that
here.
first one there. Tommy, was he looking for the guard?
I was also talking.
Yeah.
But I would assume that they were looking for the tight guard there. It looks like it probably slipped in a little bit. I think they'd want to try and push the issue a little bit here. So Gushu's going to come up, and they're probably going to just off nose this and try to keep that out in that free guard zone, I think.
Yeah, not much wiggle room for sure. But I definitely don't think it's a rock you necessarily want to keep there right now. He could throw the corner guard, but that rock is not going to help him later. So
They hit that right on the nose there, but they do manage to keep it in the free guard zone. So Team Grattan can't really do anything with that stone, so this forces them to come around. That's a bit of a backwards end right now, where the team with hammer has the center guard, and the team without is going around it early.
yeah, definitely a little unconventional. I think Gushu's probably really happy with how tight that guard is.
Good line.
I think some teams,
Line's
like if I
good.
was Grattan, I might be throwing up a one guard right
Line's
now. I would guard that yellow rock.
Yeah, I'm wondering
not
if
lots of
against a
room.
different
Not
competitor they
lots.
may be doing that.
Yeah.
And against a team like Brad Gushu, they're thinking, you know what, let's not get too messy. Let's try to keep this fairly simple
Leave
and
it, leave it.
try to stay close and then steal it away early.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know what his game plan was going into this, because if it were me personally, I would just go crazy
Junk
and
it up.
see what I could do. So
See if either,
make it happen.
yeah, losing 3.
Loosen 3 or win in the 8th. It's going to be the same strategy. So
Yeah, you may see Team Grattan try to keep it simple for a couple ends, and then instead of trying to play an 8 ends of mess, maybe try to do the last couple ends of really get it messy at that point.
Hard. Gotta get it to center
So
line.
Gushu's
Gotta
coming
get
in
it to
with
center
the
line.
freeze
Hard.
here.
Hard, right to center line. Go, 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 go.
Came up a little bit short. Still a pretty good stone. The angle is quite nice onto that red there. I think they would have liked to get that locked right on there, but the angle's still pretty good. Grattan's probably going to try to corner freeze the inside of it to make things a little bit messier. So I guess I was wrong already.
I'm sure someone will come through with a big shot and hit 6 rocks out at once. And
They don't do that anymore, do they?
Line's tight.
we'll see. We shall see.
I thought we were playing
Hard
Howard
line.
rules where you can't actually hit anything for the first 8 stones.
10
Gotta go.
rock roll.
Come on, gotta go. Hard. Don't stop. Don't stop. Never stop.
So this one looks like it's coming in a little bit late as well, but hopefully they'll at least get a piece hooked behind that guard.
Okay.
Just chapped off it there, which I guess is not bad either.
No, it's-
So it looks like he's just going to try to promote that red onto the yellow and spill the red out of the rings. A modified double takeout.
Hard. Whoa. Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Good.
And makes it look pretty easy.
Yeah, great shot.
These guys are all right. They could play for me, I'd say.
That was the last one. I thought you were kind of sliding out there. So your release is okay. It's just tighten up the slide a little bit. Like I don't think it's too much. Just on that line, it's probably too
Okay,
much.
so now Grattan's looking and saying, well, I'm not looking quite as nice as I was a couple seconds ago. Let's try to clean up some of this junk here and simplify the end and try to get out of a little bit of trouble because things are starting to get a little messy.
Yep.
I like this call. I think if you try to go for the yellow in the rings, you risk ticking their top yellow in, and all of a sudden, Gushu's going to be looking at a big end. This is a smart call.
Very nicely made. And as the added bonus, he stays out there as that center guard with his own stone
that
now.
one good.
Yeah, that's a good shot.
Might be splittable. You want to try that?
Got some zip behind that one.
So Gushu's looking at the split here. Try to promote his own stone into the rings and flip the second one on to leave Grattan looking at 2 stones and hopefully force a long double or even maybe potentially not even leave one. Trying to just set up for his very simple deuce here. Should be noted there's still a lot of stones left and these teams make a lot of doubles. So
Yeah, the split's an interesting call. I mean, it's never wrong to split and sit too. It's always a good situation. I would maybe be tempted to still play the come around because that yellow rocket's in such a good spot still.
Whoa! Whoa!
It was really interesting. I mean, it looks like it probably would have been about back 8, maybe a hair deeper. It just rubbed on the yellow. And the sweepers were calling it light. I'm surprised they didn't switch gears and just play the come around at that point.
Well, I mean, the come around wouldn't have been great because you're behind the tee line. But yeah, it looked a little bit light for what I think he called about back 12 for that.
Yeah.
Weight was a little light. And again, we're on the same side that didn't curl before. And once again, ran a little straight and didn't quite get the curl they were looking for.
Yeah, I think weight-wise he would have been really close, but it just did not nearly come close to hitting enough of that yellow.
Some excellent use of adjectives there, Carly.
Thank you. I'm trying. It's been a very, very long day. I barely made it here, so here we are commentating.
All right.
Okay, so again, another stone running straight down the same path.
He wasn't that wide.
Hard to tell. There may have been a little bit more weight on that one than they have thrown the last few. They may have thrown a little more than anticipated there, but leaving Gushu with the exact same setup as he had last stone.
Yeah, I think too. I do like the split, especially now. Like we're on third stones. This is a good call. If you can set up like you said, so that there's no double, that would be ideal.
Funny how much one stone changes your strategy.
Yeah.
Whoa!
I mean, he's lucky on that first split attempt. He didn't knock the yellow just under the red, because then he would have really
Been
hooked
hooked.
himself, right?
So. Whoa! Brett, go! Shooter! Shooter, go! Get it
And
underneath us.
unsurprisingly, giving Team Gushu the same shot twice in a row. Absolute perfection on the second one.
Yeah, that was a really nice shot.
Now, the one thing that,
it was-
I guess,
you
well,
were
the
good.
one thing's
And
just
you
shy
had
of perfection
minimum
is
weight,
the
it
fact that
just ticked it.
there is a bit of a stagger on that red-yellow
Arms through
combination.
that good, and it
That
made
if
it
you were to get to the top 4 foot, you
And I
probably
gave-
can't promote
I
that
had 8
yellow
inches less
directly
there from
onto
Mark.
a red
Oh,
stone.
that
there.
guard was over a couple more, but
So it looks like
Same
Gratton's
or
going to try and
normal?
go there with the hit and roll. You could go with it draw as well, but you are leaving a lot of Brad Gushu stones in play, and rarely works out well for the other team.
Yeah, and I think you made a good point too. It's still early on in the game. Perhaps James just wants to keep it a bit more simple right now. The thing is too, with both these guys being at the Briar multiple times, they've played against each other. They have an idea for each other's strategy. So he probably has an idea of how he is envisioning this game going, right? So
we're sweeping for curl again, and once again we run a little bit straight on this outside of sheet 8 from the far right.
yeah, I think it's just like you said, it's running straight. It's very weight sensitive. If you overthrow it at all, it doesn't seem like it's curling much at all. Particularly outside the middle of the 8-foot line. I think as you see rocks get more in towards the 4-foot line, we'll probably see a little bit more curl, but certainly out in the wings there, it's not curling a whole lot.
You know what I mean? It also doesn't go crazy.
I'm going to try to get a hog-to-hog on this one for everybody at home so we can get an idea of how quick the ice is
That's what
running.
you were doing like last year. Like it was almost just that. Yeah. Yeah, I'll give you less. I'll give you. For you and me, probably I need less there.
back here. As deep as you can get it, Brett.
All right, so here comes the come around. Now this is
Yep.
a little wide, a little deep.
Yep. Okay.
Now Gushu's taking it all the way back to take away the freeze. Now you still could freeze dead to that 4-shot stone.
Try the double, or
He may have forced Gradden into the come around here. That
just make that one?
that danger stone at the back 12 might be that third point later on in the end. So Gratton's got a couple options. He could play a freeze down to that. He could play the straight come around, or he could play the more defensive call and try that short run up front and try to keep control of the front of the rings.
I don't know what tapping that out does for me though. It doesn't open up any doubles. Yeah.
your first one probably would have been through the rings.
If we get shot there, he draws for 2. We won't get shot there. That's the thing. Unless I knows it. Unless I could get nose. Paul was thinking that, but might open up a double. Either that or we try this. Either that or we try that. Yeah.
So just working on a couple technical difficulties here.
At least I'll have a double for the next shot.
We were unable to hear the players on the ice, so now we can hear everything that everyone's saying, and we can join in their conversation, so which is a little bit easier.
We may look like seasoned pros out here, but this is our first time this year doing some, at least for myself, first time doing commentating. So it's, just getting our feet wet a little bit, getting our groove going.
So it looks like you did a really good job outlining all the options, Tommy. It looks like he's going with the run back.
Yeah, probably loses.
Yeah.
Might
Pretty
lose
much
this one over here.
The broom, if it doesn't curl, I make it.
Even if he's.
We're going to seem way smarter now. We can hear what they're saying.
Well, it's nice too because now we can hear them talking about how straight it's running there. Like before this, we had no idea that they were saying this. So now we know, which is makes us look a lot smarter.
Well, knowledge is power.
Important.
Oh, yeah.
So sweepers are on it right away. Looks like this one's over curling down center a little bit. Still got enough of a piece to remove it.
Thought he crossed it enough.
Not quite what he was looking for, but still a pretty good outcome.
Line and went.
Yeah. So that's pretty well getting center
touched
line.
The line and went.
I think there is plenty, eh?
So you can definitely hear the players are struggling a little bit with the curl of the ice. Just trying to find out where these lines are moving and how things are, where to put the broom.
Shoot.
Oh no, where I got the broom.
You can see Gushu saying that he thinks this is plenty of ice.
This is not working today.
He doesn't want to play too cute with the guard.
Big speed's okay.
I think he'd be happy even like if he can get it buried. That's pretty good. Even if he's like 3/4 buried, he'll be pretty happy with that.
I think the biggest thing for this shot here is as long as your second shot, like as long as you're kind of top 4, top 8, top 4 probably, top 4 even half buried, it takes away any kind of freeze opportunity. Doesn't give a come around behind that stone either, and so it probably gives you a pretty good chance at your deuce here.
I thought it was good. Line's good. Room.
So sweepers are backing right off. Usually a sign that she's skating a little hot.
That's fine.
Pretty darn good though, I'd say.
Yeah, pretty good. Didn't really use not bad.
That's about right.
Didn't really use the sweepers on that one. I had a 14-7 hog to hog. So it's probably running at least a 15 between hog lines. So that'd be pretty quick ice.
Yeah, and it accomplished, mission accomplished here because Grattan is just going to hit the wide open stone here, concede the deuce, not worry about getting too cute trying to play any kind of freeze tapping like that and potentially opening himself up to a 3 spot. So I think both teams are going to be fairly happy. Grattan will still be hoping wishing to have his first one there back, but make this one here nice and move on to the next end.
Might have some backing here anyway. Looks right on the nose to me.
So Sweeper's just keeping her clean down here. Hits her right on the nose. And Gushu's going to draw for his deuce. Now, we overheard Brad saying that might leave them some backing here, so he might not be super confident about the speed on these different lines. We're going to skate a little bit down this path here.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to ice it just to have that backing just in case they ever need it.
Yeah, I would say if anything, like this is probably your fastest part of the sheet now. If you think about this end, the majority of the rocks went down the side of the sheet, down these paths, I'd say. What he said.
I was thinking 2 or 3 feet less, but that's still okay. But I'll try and give you 5 feet.
Yeah, so they're saying it's about 5 feet faster down this line.
Yeah, and he didn't use the sweepers at all, right? I mean, he's got Brett Gallant and this other guy who I don't know, but I'm sure he's an excellent sweeper as well.
Felt like
So.
6.
So this is all a weight shot here. Sweepers just kind of keep an eye on it. They seem pretty comfortable with what they're working with. Just going to walk her right in there.
It's starting to curl now, so.
Brett's going to finish it right onto the button there to give Brad a good feeling for what that draw path is going to look like later on.
Okay.
So that is a 2 spot for Team Brad Gushu to go up 2-0 over Team Gradden after 3 ends.
After 2 ends.
I was close. Playing 3, there we go. Math is hard.
Most of the sheets are just finishing up their second end, so we'll give you an update once those sheets have posted their scores. I know some of the online scores are a bit behind. We're a bit ahead of that, so I will do my best to keep everyone updated throughout the broadcast.
And if she's not updating you fast enough, just send her messages on all of her social media. Make sure she gets on it.
Yep.
You could try that with me, but I'm old, and I will not notice.
So speaking of social media, I did get a message from a friend of mine, Kim Taylor, who would like me to give a shout out to her mother-in-law, Merle Taylor, who apparently is a huge Brad Gushu fan, lives just outside of Antigonish, curled herself into her 80s at the Highlander, and was known to invite Colleen Jones and Russ Howard to her home for meals. So thanks, Merle, for being a fan. I hope you appreciate the shout out.
Now I'm curious what kind of meal she was making. Talk about food always gets me excited.
Just ask Colleen. I'm sure she remembers it to a T. She'll tell you all about it.
So Gushu starts out with the tight center guard here.
Yeah, all the way.
And we've got Grattan throwing up a corner guard, also fairly tight, trying to get it tight enough to make sure they can actually get around and use it. With all the curl on this ice, long guards, even halfway guards, don't really protect much. So trying to get tight is fairly critical to actually be able to make good use of these guards. Unfortunately, the catch to that is that these teams are so good at runbacks that those tight guards become pretty easy to promote back in, but that's the risk you got to live and die with out here.
Room. Yep. Hard now, hard forward. Hard. Whoa. Yeah, that probably is a slow cutter, right?
So it looks like that one overcurled a little bit.
We heard it was a slow cutter.
Gushu seems to think
So
that's the
rock?
stone.
Is that rock? It's the one. I think he's better off throwing that first. A little tight.
Yeah, so Gushu is saying he thinks that one stone is slow in a cutter. So basically just meaning that it's curling more than they're expecting, and it's grinding in and not traveling as far as they expect it to.
We're into it now.
Brad did say he thinks that maybe you should throw it first, just to kind of get that rock out of the way and not have to worry about it, right?
Yeah, I mean, if it's a little bit slow and it's cutting a little more, you're not going to lose your come-arounds on it. If it doesn't quite end up exactly where you want it, you'll be able to predict the second stone a lot easier than that first one. So Grattan racked on the guard here as well. So as you may have heard James say, they're into it now. So they get a fair bit of junk out front. And so could be a fairly interesting end here. So it looks like Gushu is playing the tap here.
Hard!
Sweepers are down on it, trying to hold the line.
Hard! Whoa. Okay.
So tap that one up. It's about Oh, what are we going to use here for numbers here? 9/16's open, I'd say. That's the wrong number. That's bad math. 7/8's open. There we go.
There you go.
Way better at math there. So it looks like Grattan's going to come down with just a quiet weight. Try to get a little bit under, I think.
It'd be interesting to watch a spot here. This is that line we've been talking about where it's been running straight if it doesn't quite get off that line. And this one here, they're trying to make it to curl, and it's trying really hard.
Oof. Just barely caught a piece.
Huh? Did it put it right behind it?
Yeah. Close. Yeah, I think
Now, it looks like it may have lined that,
Oh, wow.
It lined that red. See, this was strategic. They were trying to move that stone back there so they'd have that red run back later on.
Kind of mush it up.
So this is one of those situations where a bit of a missed shot has actually thrown a bit of a wrench in Gushu's strategies here. The angles lined up very nicely for James Grattan even after the miss there. So they're trying to make sure they have something that doesn't get them in too much trouble.
That's a simpler, safer shot. You'd hate to overcurl and just bump this straight into the rings. Yep.
So it looks like Gushu is just going to tap up their own yellow stone here. Try to get a bit of an angle to take away that yellow-red combination, yellow-red onto yellow combination.
This is a really well thought out call. He's really paying attention to what's going on in the house and where the rocks are placed. This is kind of a 2-for-1. He'll still keep his guard, but he'll take away James's shot. It's a brilliant call.
Good.
And comes in very nicely.
Really good shot.
And the guard stays right out in front of that, blocking everything off. And Grattan's in a bit of trouble here.
I know. I'm not even
I still think you'll
with the mask
probably
on and
see
it's so loud, so just
James play
outside
something on the
super
front
feet right
rocks
up.
because he does have hammer.
Yeah,
should be able to stick it there, but
I'm surprised he could either run that red-yellow combination, or he could try to run that yellow on the angle in as well to open things up. Looks like he's trying to get everything moving here. Probably see a little bit of weight coming on this one.
Yep. Hard. I know. Whoa.
Okay, so drives her straight back. Now, that red rock is sitting wide open in the middle there, but he does have a corner guard that kicks over there.
Yeah, he got a lot out of that shot. He definitely opened it up a bit. He has a rock in the rings. It's making Brad have to do something about this redstone now.
And that center's open up a little bit, which is exactly what the team with the hammer wants. You don't want to get into too much of a battle coming around those center guards.
yep. Whoa. Whoa. No roll. No roll. No.
So, Gushu comes down with the
try.
hit and roll there. And while it did roll nicely in behind the pile, the problem is it takes away a lot of those angles. Grattan can see about 7/8, got my math right this time, of that yellow stone. It can make a little hit and flip behind that corner and can be looking pretty good to have his second rock kind of locked in there.
And there's no need to remove the stone. You do not have to remove it from play. You just have to get your red rock into a good spot. Any rocks behind the tee line at this point are going to be friends of yours. You can use them later on in the end. You can freeze to them. They're potential jam opportunities.
And with curling being such a social sport, we want as many friends as we can have out there,
Yes.
even in the social distancing era.
Yep, go. Yep, Jamie.
These are the kind of friends you can have with you on the ice.
Yep. Whoa,
Too
whoa,
good.
whoa. Yep, Jamie, go. Go, 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 go.
All right, so coming in, get a little bit of flip under, get that tap back, move it behind the tee line, and it looks like that stone is almost completely buried. Probably a little sliver you can see.
Or this.
These are both good options. What do you think, Tommy? What do you think is gets the most out of this for them?
I think if you're going to I don't mind going after that red one, but you got to broom it. Well, you got to broom it a little bit tight.
Yeah.
Your worst case scenario is if you just skate right by everything. If you're going to wreck on that top red, open it up a little bit, and at least make your next shot a little bit easier if you have a play at it.
Like, don't just sail by everything. Get something useful out
Yeah.
of the shot.
Yeah, the pro side miss, as they call
Yeah.
it. Sweepers are hard on this, as you might have noticed. So they do wreck off the guard there. But, again, that's the pro side miss where they did manage to move that guard out of the way, and Team Grattan's going to either have to go back and replace it or put their stone somewhere else. That stone's now wide open.
It's close.
Oh, there.
Yeah,
So
needed more ice or a
Option
little more weight.
time now. You can guard that stone. There are some freeze opportunities,
Shit.
as he's showing here.
Yeah, they're going for the freeze here, I think,
Made a really good
because
one there.
that red stone is edge with that yellow in front. So if you freeze dead to the nose of it, there shouldn't be a very easy double opportunity, especially with all the staggers on the front guards out in front, that there's not a lot of great options for Gusha to remove them.
And this is third last stone too, right? So you have to, you don't want to kind of, throw up a guard and all of a sudden Gushu makes a miracle shot and you have no way to get in there, right?
Yeah, because,
so
he's a jerk like that. He makes those all the time.
the meanie.
No line yet.
So waiting for it to curl here.
Yep.
Sweepers are
Right
right
there,
off.
Hard.
Jamie, you can go.
They might be playing for a little rub here. No, got her by. Finishing up hard now.
Right to it. Right
Get her right back and lock her on the face.
Let's go. Oh, beauty.
That's pretty darn good.
Oh, sorry.
A lot of really nice shots.
Lots of late finish. As that stone was coming down, it barely cleared that corner guard, and then all of a sudden just walked right across the sheet.
Yeah.
Well, then we know his nose,
Oh,
but
yeah. You had the right weight, that's why.
I kind of like this.
If you were heavy, you're just toast. Two beauties. Two beauties.
So, I mean, really great
Actually, let's
shots
play
there
half,
by
Mark. Give me
Paul
more ice.
Dobson.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, Brad's now in a situation where he pretty much has to nose
What
this.
are you throwing here?
If he rolls anywhere off of this, James is going to have an opportunity for 2, maybe 3.
They must know they're on TV. Showing off for the fans at home.
You like this, Brett?
Well, sometimes when you know a lot of people are watching,
Like that ice there for
it motivates you to make more shots. So,
Big game players, we call them. So Gusha's coming down. Looks like a quiet hit here. Just trying to hit, stay right there, keep that angle, and make it difficult for James Grattan to actually remove that stone. Make it hard for him to get his deuce out of this.
Whoa!
Not an easy shot, though.
Whoa! Brett!
I think that's why he's playing the quieter weight at it, to make sure he doesn't roll off of it, right? So,
Hard!
perfect.
Adequate.
I think we're still okay the same way.
Very good shot.
So-
Double is all I'm worried about.
I think what you might see here is I think you might see Grattan do the same thing. They want to make. I don't think they want to just freeze that. You want to unlock that back stone, I
Top of
think.
the rocks right there.
So same kind of idea. It looks like he's throwing a little more weight than Brad did with the ice he's taking here.
Same kind of weight.
I think the other thing too is you can hit on the inside of it and still be okay. I don't think it's as important that you nose it as it was for Brad. What are your thoughts on
That's the
that?
same ice.
Yeah, getting a bit-
I need more for me.
It's not as, I mean, you just hate to leave some sort of freeze opportunity that kind of takes away your deuce here. But yeah, I don't think it's. I think it's far more critical. Was far more critical for Brad, who
Yeah.
Line, so just listen to.
he's just
tell
trying
him
to
what it
get
is
two.
and
So
go with
if James has to come down and just move some stuff around on the next one and stay right there, he'll be okay with that as long as he can get his juice out of this.
Exactly.
So it's really about unlocking this backstone and staying on top to make this hard to remove.
Whoa! Whoa!
So sweepers are staying close here. Sounds like hack weight.
Wow!
Very nice. Completely covering the pin. So unless Brad wants to throw
That is super thin.
the thin double here,
What if we just did like this?
looks like Grattan will be getting at
That's
least
what Marcus
one
said.
short of a
I
big
don't
shot
think
here.
There's a hole, but it's tough to get.
On
Like,
the other
in
angle
all
would have been
likelihood,
better.
you get it on top of this and
This
this.
takes away
Like
the
it's
thin
just a
double.
shave to make it, but I was just thinking like.
Well, I want to see him
over
throw
there.
it, don't you?
I mean, it's very
still gonna make it.
tempting.
What did the weight end up being? I'm just trying to figure out.
I mean, I think if it depends what your goal is, right?
Oh,
I think if your goal is to get
Then he's gotta
shot
get enough
rock,
angle.
then
This
your
one
only
might count.
option is to play the double.
Probably the shot.
But I think
Same way they
forcing
just
is
threw.
really good here.
Because I'm going to probably have to
You
draw.
force, you're up one in the fourth with hammer. It's a pretty good scoreboard situation. So I think you have to really take that into consideration with
And
the
roll
shot.
right
That
in front of it.
I think for these guys,
Dead
like they're able to
square.
I thought you'd
throw
try the same thing,
hard
yeah.
weight so accurately.
Mine
That's so
usually
tempting to
rolls
play
off
that
end
double.
of
But I
three.
think the
This way
scoreboard
is
in the
more than
end
two.
and
Yeah,
what you'll get
no,
out of
just
it
same way to
means
ask.
that
Don't
this
get
shot's
worried
probably
about
your
that
best
slide.
option.
Andy's
Oh, I totally agree. It'd just be
Yeah.
more fun to watch the other one.
Same weight.
Yeah.
Do it. Do it.
Yeah. Do we not get a vote?
If you
Get a
do
little
this,
get a little signs going.
it'll do
Throw
it.
the thin double.
It listens to you.
That would make this a lot more entertaining if we could do that.
If you're on the right way, it'll do what you want it to do.
Twice a game, the commentators get to pick the shot for you.
That's not his favorite place.
It's like
Whoa!
millionaire where you can use a lifeline. Pull the commentators.
Whoa! Red!
In this case, it might be more of a drag you down line.
Sit.
All right, so caught a little too thin, rolls over, and it's going to give James Grattan a draw
that's
right
right,
to the
yes.
nose or a quiet tap for his
Might be
deuce.
the same thing.
Thought it was a little softer on the release, but it held nice.
Keep it high side, if anything.
Looks like he's throwing the exact same thing.
It's always nice when you can throw the same shot twice in a row. I think
Try to
most
give you
people
the
would
same thing with
like
the same-
like to have that
Same
option
weight
if
I hit high
possible.
side.
I would definitely like to be able to throw the same shot twice in a row. I've called the same shot twice in a row many times. Rarely thrown the same shot twice in a row.
It looked a little.
These guys are a
like
little better
we
than me, though.
Just chipped the garden and only went to back 8.
So looking for a run hack
Done with a
hack
little
weight.
bit, but based on
Yeah,
the
take a
line
sliver
track
of weight
there,
off
that
from his
would've
last
got
one.
by the guard.
I'm trying to
Same
do the
idea.
same, guys.
Respect marks the whole way in that path. The only juice is good practice.
But mine also had hack weight.
Oh, I found it.
Mark throw. So I thought he had good solid hacker. Mine is. So 2 half weighters?
I'm not sure. Can't remember the other one. It's like, yeah, he threw normal. I thought his hack was a little light at the end.
So Sweeper saying a sliver more weight.
He looks like he might have been a hair wider too. This one's gonna have to curl a bit. Just trying.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Never in doubt.
Okay.
And a deuce right back for Grattan. We are tied 2-2 after 3. Got it right this time. Just keep
Perfect.
saying after 3 and eventually I'll get it right.
We're all here to support you, Tommy.
So I think this is a good opportunity, Carly. If you want to give us a
Yes,
scoreboard update,
an
please.
update. I've been waiting for this moment. Okay, so over on sheet 1, Murphy versus Stuart Thompson. It's a 4-0 game for Team Murphy after 4. Or after 3. Oh, here I go. I'm blaming you. On sheet 2, or sheet 2, which is sheet 3 here.
Sheet 2 from the right.
Yeah, to the right of us is Paul Dexter versus Graham Weagle, and right now Paul Dexter is up 2-1 in the third end. Does have hammer, and on sheet 4, our other B division match, we have Trent Skanes up against Brett McDougall, and Brett McDougall has the lead at 2-1 after 2 as well. Looks like they're a little bit behind everybody else. Don't know if they got started a little bit later or...
Yeah, sheets 1 and 8 start a little bit before sheets 2 and 4 do. So there's going to be a little bit of time lag between the two sheets there, or the two halves of the club.
And I think part of that lag time were sheets 8 and 2, and just for everyone listening, understand. So this is a 4-sheet club.
I like that
There's
better
4
than
sheets,
sliding
but they're
it
not
in.
numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. They're numbered 1, 8, 2, 4 to represent the year that this club was built, I believe.
The year that the club was founded.
Perfect.
This building was built well after that, but the club itself was founded in 1824.
So when you're coming here to curl, it's confusing because if you say you're on sheet 2, you're actually on sheet 3. But if you're on sheet 1 or 4, you're on the correct sheet. It's 8 and 2 that really screw you up.
Well, see, so I've been playing here for a few years, and I found a system to make this work.
Okay.
For sheets 1 and 4, you count from the left. So
Okay.
you're 1 from the left and you're 4 from the left. For sheet 2, you count from the right. So you're sheet 2 from the right.
On its own,
That's
on
nice
its
and
own,
easy.
on its own, on its
Sheet
own,
8
on
is
its
just
own.
8 from the far, far right.
Sheet 8's just
We're a
8.
whole club over,
Yeah.
and then we're
Okay.
counting back over.
Perfect.
Yeah. So really, it's just all about perspective. So back to our game here. Sorry for the little segue
It's
going
an
off.
important piece of club history and knowledge so that when people come here, they'll say, hey, I remember when Carly and Tommy told me about that.
And how it's sheet 2 from the right. It'll make perfect sense now.
Exactly.
All you, line's fine, line's fine. Just clean it then. Line's perfect, got a bend.
So Grattan started out with a halfway guard.
Oh, no.
Brad came around, and Team Grattan is coming in to make the freeze here. A little bit of a nudge, but the angle's still pretty good. Probably would have liked it to curl a little more to get dead to nose on that. Brad Goosh is probably going to try to freeze just the inside corner of this, and we might see somewhere later in the end a heater come down and make some granite fly. All about getting those angles right early.
Whoa, whoa. Bounce that. Okay.
So once again, we under-curled a little bit on the same line here, and that one hung a little bit. And so the angle's now once again favoring Grattan.
Yeah, I think
Could just go there.
just a little bit more weight than they expected. I mean, it's a hard shot. Like, you want to make sure you're there, but you want to be able to use your sweepers too. It's not easy to make those freezes. They are not easy shots.
Especially when, you know, they have these not very good sweepers out here. Just kidding. These are some of the best sweepers in the world.
You have to convince yourself. Use
It's-
your sweepers.
Especially the ice here is usually fairly quick, especially for club ice. And so it is tricky to trust that, no,
It's
throw
here,
it to my
line's
sweepers.
fine.
Let them
Yeah.
do the work and place it for me.
This is something
Oh,
our
it's
women's team's been working on
Really
a
good
lot, and our coaches, I should say, but
Yeah, it's
Stu
just-
McLean
we're
and
beating
Carol
the girl
McLean,
out of
but
that
Stu
spot
McLean
right
came
now.
up with this
Just
reference.
beating it right out of it.
Take the Maseratis out of the garage.
Not bad though.
So we're constantly reminding each other, the Maseratis are here.
Yeah.
Let's take them out for a ride.
Our 8's still not going
So
anywhere. Or the
It's something everyone has to
Don't
work
know
at,
what's
even the
going
best team in the
anywhere right
world,
now is the
right here, right? So.
Are you calling yourself the best team in the world?
No, I'm calling Brad Kushu the best team in the world. They are the best team in the world. IMO.
So again, the angles keep kind of just juggling around here. So looks like Gushu's trying to move these stones around a little bit, try to get the angles to be a little more favorable.
Stay on it. Stay on it.
Just skirt past the guard there.
never dreamed you get that high.
See James saying didn't think the horses were going to drag her past there, but
That's because he doesn't have Mark Nichols sweeping for him. That's why.
well, that's why you bring in the young kids, right?
Yeah.
They're just full of gusto, don't know any better. Just go out there and just hammer the piss out of that stone, why don't you?
Wow. Is that a Thunder Bay reference or is that Newfoundland? What part of Canada is that reference from?
Yes.
Just yes. Okay. We'll take that. We'll take that.
Way out there.
So Grattan's trying to come in and freeze into the pocket here,
Really
waiting for this rock to curl. Starting to come up late here a little bit, but they had to wait so long that it just didn't quite be able to use the sweepers to get the weight all the way there. And by not all the way there, I mean right where they wanted it.
Good sweep. It was I gave him 6 inches less and he threw it 6 inches wide.
So now we got something interesting shaping up here. Grattan Stone is locked in there pretty nice. There is a short run on the yellow on the right-hand side.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. They're
Maybe
trying to
if
see
we
what they
kick
can
that
do
out,
to make
but
some of this mess
that's
kind of
going
move
nowhere.
around.
I don't love this. Although, you know what? If we stick it there, it's pretty good. Even if you just miss it, I guess that's just going there and that stays there. That's probably the shot, Brett. Try and razor this. Well, I think if you miss it and hit the 2, you're killing this. So I don't think it's too bad. But I think just a little run, like just feather it really.
I enjoyed that thought process from Brad. His first action, this isn't very good. Actually, this is quite good. Let's do this. Sometimes you don't quite see how all the angles going to work out right away. You really need to take a second, even the best teams in the world, take a second to kind of figure out how all the angles will shake out and if it is actually going to be beneficial to you in the end or not.
Yep. Hard. 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 Whoa. Great
Oh,
shot.
pretty good.
Bumped it
Pretty
frozen.
good.
Okay, second.
So
Yeah,
did manage to
they're,
get
Thinner.
everything moved out, but they did unfortunately freeze that back
Air
red
thinner.
to the yellow behind it there, shrinking down the scoring
Air
area for Team Gushu. But there's a lot of yellow floating around,
Took the words right out of my mouth.
which is rare.
Yeah, I tend to do a lot of talking. You are not wrong. It looks like from this, it's hard to say. Like, I mean, like you said, there's a lot of yellow in here. I mean,
I think it
I'd like to get rid of
jams into
some.
it.
He thinks it jams. It might go over the top. It's hard to say. I
If the
think
throw is firm and
from here it looks like
kinda
the
hot
angle's
top
steep
to
enough
going
that
out,
probably
that's
will
good.
jam, or at least 100% touch it. So if anything, you
is,
gotta
'cause then
throw
you
some
have-
weight at it if you're gonna choose that shot.
Throw it firm and
And hopefully come off the top of it.
Yeah,
If
it's
any roll is good roll.
It's not going out, so we don't even need to worry about it.
No, it's not. We're not getting it out because it's actually half a rock higher.
Why don't we throw something we can control it?
Well, I just want to make sure I pick it out. Like if you hit 3/4 and
you wanna
with
kick
control,
it?
I want to kick that yellow a hair.
Let's throw normal
Firm. Yeah.
so. I think both players agreed on what the shot here was. It was just a conversation of what the best weight was. And so James started at firm, came back with control, ended up with an up normal, which is pretty much firm
Okay.
anyway.
So what he's trying to do is hit this yellow, roll with firm, roll over and just nudge the other yellow over.
Off the back.
Correct.
Yes.
Or the one that's top 8 foot. He wants to hit it out more into
I really
the
wasn't
open.
paying attention.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that I don't think he's trying to do anything in the back. I actually think he's just trying to throw firm at this, hit about like 3/4 of it, and roll over and nudge that yellow just in the top 8 over to the right.
Okay.
Okay, so kind of just on the nose drives it by, but it's not all that bad of a stone, I don't think.
I want to.
I really like the call.
what
I
about
think it
feel
left him a
just
lot of
off the nose?
options.
Yeah, I like this. I think Brad's just going to try to unlock that back red,
Needed
get
an inch roll.
one of those reds out and unlock the second one, and leave a pile of yellow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be interested to see the weight he calls on
I'd love
this.
to get it a little thicker. I
They're
just
using a
think
lot
on
of
the nose,
think
I think
time
we're
on
kinda
this
doing
end
this,
here.
but
I think that
Maybe
you,
not.
The only one I don't like is that one.
the
Not
rocks
really
in the
like
back of
Mark.
the tee line
I was trying to
are going to
kick
be
back.
rocks
For
that
nose?
James can freeze to and shrink down Brad's scoring area, like you said before, right?
Well,
So
with Peel, though, like, I think you're rolling here. But what do you like? Nose hit? Do you like board? Well, there's two options. You can try and plant this right there. I guess the problem with Peel is he might be able to then wrap one in here. So you're probably right. We throw like board up.
So I think they're trying to remove that red, and are they trying to promote their yellow back a sliver as well, or just kind of get to just shade inside nose on that red, or nose to shade inside and just stay right there? It's gotta be
I think here.
inside.
I think they'd be fine. Like, I think if he knows that you're just going to graze that red, or the yellow rather, which will be fine. I think the key is that these are going to be his rocks in front of the tee line that he'll be able to promote later on in this end.
Take away any freezes and come arounds from Team Grattan.
Whoa! Ryan! Hard, Ryan!
Looks like he just set this one a bit out of his hand.
Hard,
A
Ryan!
little bit of an outward motion.
Missed it the wrong friggin' way. Hitting it low is probably better, I think.
So I think they missed it the wrong way.
Okay.
What do you think?
So
While
now
you're here,
Grattan's
what do you
got
think?
some options here. You could freeze right onto the pocket there if it doesn't over curl.
What?
Be really good to freeze dead to the nose of that yellow if you can squeak into that
It's
pocket there.
It's juicy for sure.
Even if you were to just nick
Right
off
there,
that
you
yellow a
got
little
it.
bit, punch it open,
Yeah.
sit 2, 3, 4, clog up that.
And yeah, no, it's really juicy. And I wonder if that's why James earlier on in the end wanted to move that yellow that's on the 8-foot out into the open. Because it kind of confused me a little bit because right now it's actually blocking Brad's shot. Like, he doesn't have a ton going with that yellow right now. I think if you move it out into the open, it actually makes it easier for Brad. And now, because he didn't move that yellow over, he has this shot now. Yeah, if you can sneak this one in there, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can kind of just rub off of your red a little bit and sneak in there as well. So I think, if anything, you want to make sure you're taking enough ice to make sure you don't hit the guard.
Little mercy ice.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost anywhere past the guard. Good things should happen if your weight's
Line's
close.
tight. Oh, line's good, line's good. Where is it? Yep. Yep. Yes, we gotta move it. Come on. Hard, guys. We can't get by. Okay, we're by it now. Now we gotta be a little quicker there.
So that comes in not bad. It's I'm not quite sure if you can see enough to make the double onto those or maybe the triple on those reds.
Kind of
Yes.
forgot to talk,
Either that or
they
peel the
forgot
guard.
to talk to me on that one. I was trying to do that.
Yeah, I
and-
think right now if you
'Cause I needed
slash
that
that
one
yellow
higher
into
than
the
that one.
pocket
But
there,
it's not-
all those
Those
reds
are the
might
only
go
shots.
flying.
You draw there or you peel the guard.
We just gotta be careful, man.
Or you draw there, peel the guard.
I think this rock is kind of helping us. It makes it easier to get this guy out. You can kind of. This isn't hurting us right now, I don't
Yeah,
believe.
it's straight there. It's just we beat that side, beat the curl right out of her.
I think he's kind of just thinking potentially save that for
the
later.
other side,
Like he
I
said,
think
he doesn't
12
think it's hurting them right now, meaning that you can't really sneak that red rock in to do anything. Like, you can't really get shot rock with it unless you make a really good, like, I don't know if you're going to get by that top red if you try to promote
draws
that
in here
red. So
again?
I think he's thinking, I'll just leave this here,
Well, I
use
think
it to my
he draws
advantage
here,
later,
We can hammer it and get rid of 3 reds.
and then there's your shot. Getting into Brad Goosh's head.
That's what I'm thinking.
I just gotta hold up my sign.
Got him talking. Okay. Got him talking.
Now, if we draw there again,
Like
I don't love the draw. I would
See-
say it's my least favorite option.
And I was actually going to say I quite like it. If you draw and just nudge that red a shade to the right, just a sliver,
I think the balls are never-
then you can. It's never going anywhere,
I-
and you've got some angles to get 3 or 4.
Perhaps, but then at that point, James is probably just going to guard, and you're forcing Brad, and you're pretty happy with that. I think
trying to hit the
I think
yellow.
if you're Brad and you're trying to get more than one here, peeling the guard is the best call. For sure.
Peeling the guard is never the wrong choice.
Peeling the guard's never a bad call.
I have lost many games from not peeling the guard. Peeling the guard is never the wrong choice.
Yeah, I think the thing is too, if you're ever in doubt and that's one of the options, again, like you said, it's usually not a bad choice if you can't decide, right? It's kind of the opposite in mixed doubles. I find drawing is never the wrong choice. So now it's decision time. Do you put the guard back up or do you make a play on the rocks in the center there?
Just hit that one.
Let's hear what James has to say.
Yeah.
Try to make it.
We could.
What?
I don't think opening that up, if he just hits this, he probably could. I'm just thinking, what if we hit that one and roll that way? He can't. He lies too by doing this, making the triple. Yeah.
This is your last one, I'd say. Sure, let's beat it. Guard for now, don't we?
I don't love that double call. I think if anything, that yellow in the back is helping them right now. So I don't think you want to do anything with that.
So James trying to decide he could play the guard back up. He could freeze right into that pocket.
Yeah.
Like that? Yeah. It's either that or that.
Or he plays the double. You err a little bit thick on the double and make the hit and roll.
I think the issue with playing the guard is where do you put the guard?
Guard's very hard to make well.
Yeah.
No, I think.
And you can't block everything. So I think.
I quite like this call here, the draw right in there. I think it has the most margin for error, and it can have a very good outcome as well.
The only downside is, like you said, it
Really freaking good.
potentially can give Brad an option to blast. Brad still has 2 rocks left as well. I think if it was Brad only had 1 rock left, like let's just say
Automatic.
Right, exactly, right? Like you're going there for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we'd still be shot.
But I think out of all the options, it's probably your best option at this point because you have to make, Brad probably is going to blast at that point. And depending on how it all comes out in the wash, you don't know what's going to happen. Like Brad might be saying 3 and you get your force that way, right? So I think this gives you the best options, at least for Grattan, moving forward in the rest of the end.
All these red ones will go except for the one I'm throwing right now.
I don't think we'd have much choice otherwise. Even if we hit the 4 first, it's not death.
So the front end just kind of discussing, making sure they understand what the call is here.
No, I think if we move this red a hair,
Yeah.
Knowing where their margins are.
in there, I think.
Yeah.
So just got to get to the inside of that red. 9, 30, 30.
I'm not sure what language that was. What does 30 mean?
430?
Oh, he's throwing a 430.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I heard a 9 in there as well, so.
Line's good.
Every team has their way of communicating weight.
It's going to get real close to our yellow.
Code. Proprietary information.
So really trying to keep this more of a curling
Move
here.
our yellow, Mark.
So this really snapped on him.
Yikes.
Now I guess the only good thing is where it ends up frozen, it takes that smash away.
Must have hooked it.
I think the best shot is if we squeak
must
it
have
and do
hooked it.
this, but
So
then we got an angle here.
yeah.
I must have hooked that one, no?
I think the best shot is a squeak on
So
this.
James thinks he must have turned that over a little
Stay
bit.
there.
I'm trying to remember where he had the broom just now, because remember we've been talking about how that side's a bit straighter, but there's a fine line of where it curls and where it doesn't curl. I mean, he pretty much had the right weight he wanted. They're sweeping it, but they weren't pounding it.
I think he was just into the 8 foot.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't have overcurled that much, even if the ice decided to open up and move a little.
Yeah.
You like this or you like the nose on the other one?
So they're going for the
I think
thin
it's there, yes.
double, turns into triple here?
Squeak that yellow, yep.
Yep.
We might even be able to hit the red first. whoa.
This is what my dad would call Air Canada weight. And just came in a little thick. Taps it back to leave Grattan sitting 1. And looks like it just hangs on the edge of the rings there.
Bad throw.
Isn't in off.
So it does leave Brad with 2 in-offs for a
We're good,
bundle.
right? I don't know. Like,
Well, not a
sorry,
bundle,
right now
for 2.
I don't even think we need to guard anything. Yeah. I don't even want to guard anything. What am I guarding?
So what are you doing here, Carly?
Give him 1. Do you think you can get 2 out of it?
Well, I agree with James. I mean, looking at it,
Which
what
is
do you do with
harder?
the stone? Like, there's nothing really down the middle.
No,
Do you
for
just
him.
guard one of the in-offs? Do you make it a bit harder for him, maybe?
The only problem with guarding the in-off is you might give him a slash in to remove both of
Not
yours,
sure what we're
Yeah.
guarding.
which I guess is just for a couple anyway.
Still think if we hit what we see of the red, we get 2.
They're the same, really.
So Brad thinks he can do a quiet tap here on the out
Let's
turn.
guard that then.
And
If
just
those are
kind
the
of
same, I can't take away both of
You
them.
nudge it
mean
for-
James.
No,
If we,
Oh, you're saying Brad saying on his. Okay, you're hearing Brad's.
I'm eavesdropping. Our competitive advantage.
I don't want to move mine, but if you don't think I can. I don't mind trying it because the guard doesn't do us a whole lot.
So we look at the freeze here. That'd be all right. Play the in-off
I
themselves.
don't hate
I
this
don't want to move
call.
this, right?
Pace here.
Or do I? I don't care. Doesn't matter.
So basically, it's a tough. It's a tough call.
What am I guarding for a center guard?
So I think his whole point is, what does he guard, right?
I'm
So
thinking
if he
about
plays the
me.
in-off before Brad does and removes the yellow, he could
can't take
potentially
away
be sitting
both of
3 after that, 2,
Yeah.
more than just 1.
It'd be really hard for me to hit that, no?
He's just trying. I think that the concern is you'd hate to pick your own off the top,
Maybe this one. Maybe
because
that one's
then you
in-off
give
is-
him.
yeah.
Then you
I
give
don't
a
leave
shot
here,
for a
leave
bundle.
double, though.
The in-off is really hard,
Right,
no
that's
matter
the
what.
worst
Like
case
this
scenario
this
is to roll
in-off is
here.
super thin.
Then he plays the double.
I mean,
it's
if
not
anyone's going to make it Brad Gushue's probably a good candidate, but
Huh?
it's not easy. I don't hate trying
Fight the
this.
center.
I like this. This is the
This
safer.
play is- yeah.
This
I'm
is
not
the
sure
safer
what the fuck
play.
That's what I mean. I don't know what
That one's probably easier.
Yeah. Just not sure what I'm guarding. Not sure what I'm guarding.
I think you leave him be a hard flat in-off. As I
Oh,
said,
there's no hit for 2. Where's the hit for
if
2?
they make it, congrats.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I make the
I don't
in-off,
know if
great,
I
but
can
if I
make
roll
it.
like 3 feet, he's got a double.
For 2.
Me, yeah.
Could play this one, and if I come into ours and stick on ours, it might get 1.
So just looking for a halfway guard here on the center line.
Just to
Or
take
just
away
to
that
the-
quiet weight tap for a couple. I
Exactly.
think.
Just to the left of the center line.
Yeah, pretty much right about there.
Perfect. So the question is he going to play one of the in-offs?
Just trying to pick which one, I think.
It doesn't come without. I'm trying.
Yeah,
I'm just
I'd do the
wondering, does
in-off
it
if
come
I knew
without
if
risk?
I would have to play it like this. Like you roll to the edge of the
It's pretty
floor
safe.
and then
Yeah.
There's probably, if you play the left one, there's probably a perfect spot where you come pick yours and spin straight back past the red. I don't think you could do it on the other side.
It'd be pretty hard to clean do that without it at least jamming on that
There,
back
there's
side.
there's a little stagger
Where'd you go?
on to the left. That's why I think you might be able to do it that way. The other way, I think you're a little safer.
The intern, or not intern, I should say, on the right side of the sheet, in off.
That's
So
like
the
when you
one
have those
just by the
situations
Toller
where
sign looks a
they have
bit
the exact
easier to
same
me.
shot.
Yes.
Just because it's a bit higher.
It looks a bit easier and a bit safer.
Yeah.
Spin one of them away. Then you leave the
So I'd be tempted to play the one on, but it looks like he thinks it's easier on the other side. It just the angle looks.
Leaving them both.
You have a bit better of an angle on the other one, so I feel like it just looks easier from behind the glass. So.
No, that's fair. I mean, I just flashed back to say there's no way we can hurt ourselves. The number of times I've said that and thrown the perfect shot to kill myself.
It's there, but you couldn't take both away.
But again, these players are a little more experienced, a little better at executing. So we're going for the big weight flat in off for a couple.
He's throwing the in-turn to get a little extra roll off of the rock.
Yep.
Very spinny throw.
Hard! Hard!
Sweeper's on it right away.
Hard! Hard!
And here it comes.
Whoa! He got
And just
shot
enough
right.
for one.
That is fantastic. Crafty throw. It was a very crafty throw.
He even had a little bit of room to spare.
Yeah, a
he
little
could have made
bit of
that
room.
better.
All right, so really nice shot by Brad there to get one in the fourth and take a 3-2 lead in this game
You did that pretty well.
at the halfway point.
Did you let it go to the tee line or something?
While we are at the halfway point, take a quick moment here to point out our partner sponsors. In addition to our title sponsor of Steel Subaru, we also have Superline Fuels, Stu Sells Realty, and Clark Painter, and Manulife Securities.
We appreciate everyone who's partnered with the curling community to sponsor events this year. We know it's been a really tough year for everybody, and it's great that we can still have continued support from everybody, so we appreciate that. We'll do our best to support you right back.
That's right. It gives us an opportunity to, having sponsors like this gives an opportunity to have people such as ourselves here talk to you and show you these games, and I guess it's sometimes a little better than watching in silence.
That's just it, right? And we're so fortunate to be curling here right now. There's just an event in Alberta in Okotoks that, while it was a ladies' event, top women, pretty much all the top women's teams in the country were there. And while the teams were on the ice, they canceled the event, and the teams found out after they got off the ice that the event was canceled due to restrictions in Alberta saying that nobody can curl for the next 2 weeks. So we definitely consider ourselves quite lucky here that we're able to be on the ice, and we're doing everything we can to prevent the spread of COVID during these times. So lots of procedures. You see a lot of people wearing masks on the ice, lots of sanitizing, social distancing, all that stuff, right? So just a quick update after. We'll wait until James stops yelling to give everybody a quick update. James, stop yelling. I'm trying to talk.
You need your sign, I'm telling you. Shh.
He just hits a guard, but he gets 2 corners out of it, so not bad. Take it. Okay, quick update. So over on sheet 1, Stuart Thompson did take 2 in the 4th end, so he trails Team Murphy by 2 in the 5th. On sheet 2, in our other A semifinal, it looks like Paul Dexter has taken a lead, taking 2 in the 3rd and stealing 1 in 4. So he leads 5-1 after 4 against Team Graham Weagle.
Sound a little less excited, Carly.
Do I sound? I don't know how I sound. I'm trying my best to sound neutral. On sheet 4, Brent McDougall against Trent Skanes. We have a tie game after 4, 3 apiece. So some really good games out here. Everyone's keeping it fairly close.
So looks like they're going for the tick shot here again.
Yep. Yep. Hard. All the way. Hard.
So down hard, very nicely done. Roll almost right behind their own. Punch that yellow rock in behind the tee line there, but still in play to be used as a freeze later. Lots of good junk set up for James Grattan here. A very promising looking start to the end. Goosh is going to throw up another center guard, try to keep that play around center, keep things away from those corner guards. So that center guard comes in very nicely, pretty much right where Brad had the broom there. And so James has a decision to make here. It looks like he's going to try to play another hit and roll over. Now that the free guard zone is no longer in play, he can play takeout weight at this. Doesn't have to worry about leaving stones around. Be nice if he could hold that shooter somewhere off on the left-hand side of the sheet just to get a bunch of extra corner guards that could be used later for himself.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Yep, whoa, 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 whoa. Yep, yep, yeah, yeah.
So, makes that nice peel out of there, clean across top of the zone. And now we get into a little bit of a hit game. Oh, he took that one to the back there as well. Didn't notice that. So took away that catcher. Brad's going to try and hit and roll off that into center, reduce some of these guards out front.
Yep.
I think this is a good call. Some teams would potentially opt to play the double peel, but like you said earlier, Tommy, sometimes the high guards aren't really guards at all, right? They're there, but they're easy to come around and access those rocks that are behind them. So I think hitting the tight guard, especially because it's open, is a really good idea.
Yeah, plus they're not throwing big weight at this. They want to try and control the roll on the shooter. Instead of throwing that high double peel and losing their stone, this lets them bring another stone into play of their own into the center.
Exactly.
And keeping that play, again, away from those corner guards, making the hit and rolls the only option, which for anybody who knows curling, some days hit and roll is the hardest shot in curling to make.
Most days are not that easy.
Thankfully, we have top-tier athletes here that make this look a lot easier than it is for the rest of us.
For sure.
Yep. 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 All the way. All right.
So just lost it a little bit here, a little bit of over curl, kind of hits it right on the nose.
No, he threw the right weight and threw it good that time. That was perfect. I can't knock him for that one.
So you just heard James say that thought he threw the rock great, thought he hit the broom, threw the right weight, everything looked pretty good, and just didn't quite get it. So they're still struggling a little bit with finding that perfect break spot on the ice and figuring out these different paths a little bit.
Yep. Yep. Hard. Whoa. Clean. Yep. Yep. Good throw.
So Brad comes down right on the nose, leaves that as a center guard, but it is quite tight to the ring, so there still is an option here for a hit and roll onto the rings for Grattan behind one of those corners, just nibbling onto the top 12.
I think he's definitely happy to change the turn up here, get an idea for what this side does. It seems like everyone's really getting caught on the left side of the sheet right now, so change it up, play a different turn, see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, lots of times you'll see people that will want to stick to the same turn if they know it. The problem is when you don't know it, you're like, oh, thank you, I can get away from that.
Wonderful news.
Yeah. All the way. Hard.
So they're calling control weight here.
Harder.
Want a little more weight to get the flat roll.
Anything.
So just kind of skirt over a little, just kind of missed it a little bit early, and it leaves it out of the rings. So now you got some options for Brad here. You could just come right around this here. We'll leave a short run back, but run back, nice. But it still has to be made. This gives Brad a chance to kind of put that pressure onto Grattan and force that slightly more difficult shot, especially on a sheet of ice where we've seen calling that perfect line is not the easiest thing in the world.
Yep. Hard for line. Hard. Hard for line. Hard for line. Hard for line.
So it's just diving towards the guard. Sweepers are pounding to get past. Oh, and just tickled off the back of it there.
That curled a lot. I was curling the entire way down the sheet.
That rubbed off the guard and still ended up half buried.
Yeah.
It was snapping over that much. So since it is mostly buried, instead of trying to get cute and come around, James is going to elect to play the short run back here and try to catch it pretty much just on nose, which will squirt this either behind the one he's throwing right now or his corner guard off to the side.
Big opportunity here.
Yep.
Got to keep the line here. Oh, and just over curled a sliver. Punches out, moves that center guard up a little bit, and gives Gushu another chance to come around it there.
I gave you right here, Mark. I think for that one, I'm going to need probably there.
I think hold it there better than that.
It's a little difficult to cheat the broom here with the curl, right? It's almost like you can. Don't be afraid to be wide kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you can definitely be full to the broom and still get away with it versus if you try to cheat the broom. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Well, this is that tricky spot where we've seen a lot of rocks run straight early here, even on the draws. So there's almost a bit of a ridge where if you get outside of it, it tracks straight, and the second you get inside, it just kind of runs away from you. So it's not as easy as just saying, take that little bit of extra full and know it'll always hook back. I think the sweepers have to be patient and not jump this early to make sure that we can actually keep that flow coming back in.
First one just went straight around, left it. We were only that far out of the rings.
I liked it.
So Brad liked it out of his hand.
A lot of room, guys. A lot of room, Brett. Switch.
They're calling the switch to get some more curl here.
Curl here. Hard, guys. Hard right to center line, Brett. Hard. Hard. Hard.
So they're trying to finish up, get as much buried as they can. Looks like it's going to be just a piece buried, almost completely wide open. So again, just that scary spot of over curl, under curl.
You can hear Brad say, "Was I that wide?" Because Mark had that exact same draw, and that one did not curl nearly as much.
No, they did take that extra couple inches of ice that we talked about that just gets you just outside that break line. And they did jump it early with the sweepers as well to kind of not let it break in.
I think we can get at least nose.
It's going to have to be tight to the guard to get under.
Yeah.
So did you catch what kind of weight they're throwing here, Carly?
I did not. Judging by where the broom is, I'd say probably boardish weight.
Yeah, so I think they're trying to just get under. It looks a little narrow on the broom here, but they love just get a little flip just a little more under to make it difficult on Brad to access it.
Probably even close to hack. Remember, this is the spot where James threw when he got his 2 in the third end, right? So,
and so hack was
he
just
likes
called.
this. He likes this shot. Like you said, he knows this spot, right?
They're waiting for it to move. So, again, didn't quite get the curl they wanted there. Hit it, flipped open a little bit.
There, you like it?
But as this is Brad's last here, he just wants to get kind of anywhere buried and try to get the force here to have us all even after 5.
I did too. He was kind of saying to me that we might have to go.
I was thinking board.
On him. He threw that really good. The second one there. Your splits hung. And then that one,
do you like this or the
Paul's
outer?
curled all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For board?
I don't think if anything, he might have been a hair, like just a hair type, but I thought you guys could hold it there. Yeah.
No, I think we're good, Brett.
Definitely a few challenges reading the ice.
It makes it more exciting, though.
Oh, yeah. I know that spot.
If the ice is too good, they make too many shots.
You're not wrong. And we're seeing a lot of shots made, right?
We are seeing a lot of great shot making.
would be good here anyway.
Just some of the rocks aren't doing exactly what they're expecting them to do, that's all.
Whoa! Brett!
So they're trying to get this one to curl up here. They're going to catch it just inside nose, but pretty much stay right there. So this will leave the blank opportunity for James to end up one down playing 6, which is a pretty good place to be, especially against an elite team like one Brad Gushu.
Not much full.
Yeah. Hammer in the even ends. That
Started to move.
a lot of people like having hammer in the even end, especially
Good board.
later on in the game. That means,
Board.
in theory, James should have 2 hammers to 1 for
Now,
the
he's gotta be-
remainder of the game.
He's
so-
got to be careful not to overthrow this here. Again, this is that bit of a tracky spot. You don't want to overthrow it and have it just kind of hang a little bit on you. We need to make sure that you have good contact on this blank.
Side straightening out for sure.
Apparently, they think it's just starting to straighten out now. I feel like it's been straight the whole time, personally.
Should be fine.
Nice shot.
Well, don't worry, Carly. When they listen back to this broadcast afterwards, they'll be calling you from now on to get
It's
pointers on the ice.
Just so, come on. See how good it is from the warm side? So much easier. So much easier. All right, nice shot by James there. Blank end in 5. Retains hammer going into the 6th then in a 3-2 game. He'll be looking to score a deuce here.
Once again, I'd like to just throw out to our title sponsor, Steel Subaru. Steel Subaru, from the roads to the rocks, we've got you covered.
Got that slogan nailed.
Stayed up all night planning these out. Don't worry, there's more. We've got a couple more broadcasts to go yet.
Looks heavy. Okay.
So this one slides a little bit deep into the back 4-foot back button region. Back in my playing days, that was my specialty, locking down that back button. Just what you want to make sure you give up a steal to the other team.
Well, hold on. Brad does not have hammer.
Sorry, to give up a big end to the other team.
Okay.
That classic back button's clutch. It gets so dangerous that even when you have hammer still.
Leave it then.
Danger. Need some breaks.
So a corner guard stops,
There we
just
go.
probably a
That's pretty
sliver
tight. I
too
don't wanna
tight,
go
but not too
here.
bad. You hear Brad saying it's pretty tight,
That's
hard
right.
to snake behind it. While there is a lot of finish,
real tight,
you need a
Sid.
little more space to get behind it there probably. So Brad's going to elect to throw the center guard up.
So for our viewers at home, to give everyone a quick
Marks.
update,
Mark's in if you're going to go.
on sheet 1,
Full 8, guys, full 8.
we have Jamie Murphy up against Stu Thompson, and Jamie Murphy has the lead at the moment, leading 6-2 after 5 on Skip Stones in the 6th then right now. Over on sheet 2, we have our other semifinal. Paul Dexter up against Graham Weagle. And it looks like they're just about to finish up their 5th end, where Dexter is still leading 5-1. And on sheet 4, looks like
Come on, go. Go.
there's a blank in the 5th end, and we're all square 3 apiece. Trent Skeens versus Brent McDougall. And Brent McDougall does have hammer in the 6th end.
That's fine.
Okay, so with Gushu electing to come in on that one there, James chose to punch that to the back of the house. So now they're building up a nice little bit of a wall there behind the tee line. So even though they don't have any guards, well, they have the one wide corner that's quite tight to the rings. Even though there's nothing really in the center, there's still some opportunities to generate some points here with those rocks behind the tee line. Lots of jam opportunities.
Whoa, Mark. Hard, Mark. Hard, no roll. Yeah, just hard, eh? Okay.
Oh, so that rolls over, makes it interesting. You could almost freeze that back yellow and use that almost a corner guard on it.
Either that or it's kind of, we could use it.
So I think he's electing to play that freeze except for make the hit and roll. So to remove that one stone and get that over.
I like this call, and I'll tell you why I like this call.
Please tell me why.
Just normal, just.
It's tempting to play the freeze, like you said, behind T-line, rocks are your friends. But I think that by doing this, if you can make it really good, Brad's going to have to probably clear house a bit, and you still have your corner guard.
It's true.
You can bring the corner back into play by playing this shot. So I think that this is a smart call with Hammer.
Really got to hit this for sweep, and this rock is really moving on him.
Right to it, right to it.
So caught a sliver too thin. The run back is there. It's still pretty tough to access without running that stone back.
Here?
Would have liked to catch that just a little thicker and just have that roll sit on top as opposed to unlocking it there and leaving this be able to be removed here. So sweepers are off. Mark's now trying to make it curl there for the short run back.
Good.
Drives her by, just touches it on the side there. And leaves pretty much the same setup, probably a little bit better for Team Grattan actually than it was in the last one here. A little more separation. Can make that hit and roll,
Great throw.
play a little bit less weight and get
Probably
into
just
that
on the
sweet
heavy
spot.
side. Yeah. I thought you threw both of them really well. Just probably both a half a second hard.
Yep. Really hard.
So sweeper's on this right out of his hand again. Really earning their dinner tonight.
Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Oh, really thin.
Oof. Removes one, and the ones they do leave are off on the side. So it's not the end of the world, but I mean, it was a great opportunity there to, again, get that pressure onto Brad. Those hit and rolls just so hard.
Interesting call. I don't know about this call. I'd be tempted to even hit that rather than roll in towards center. Like, you probably would be you'd be in the rings, I think, and you get rid of his corner. I don't know.
I don't hate that. What do you guys like?
The only concern with hitting rolling in, if there's still a few stones left, that's kind of bringing you back to a blank, right?
Okay.
Now they're playing
I don't think
rolling
Goose
here.
would be unhappy with that.
True.
Right? You blank and you
Burn some more ends.
force it, right? It's like, I think you just want to try not give up two.
Here.
Try
I
to
mean-
not give up two.
Try to not give up two. I mean, I could see, so like with the theory of coming around, he is hitting now, but coming around, you could get the force, but you could also end up giving James an opportunity. So I think
coming around
this
corner
is
guards is scary
Yeah,
when you
Right.
don't have hammer.
exactly. This is that straight spot, really trying to work it to curl. He's watching out for
You
that
gotta
jam
go.
in the back.
Gotta go. Should be by it. Okay, good.
So this leaves the opportunity here where you can either go around that corner or you can go around the one in the rings on the other side there.
The thing is that Mark just got a perfect read on the run back.
Well, yeah, and I mean, for me, I would be really tempted to. It's
Yeah, I still think this is the shot.
this is
but-
easier to make, but it'd be great if you hadn't ticked that that back yellow over. Going the other side would have been really good. So they're just going behind the corner guard here. It's not. You'd love to sit shot here. It's not. I don't think it's paramount quite yet. The biggest thing is get buried behind here and be second. You still have 3 stones to go. Make sure you get this buried.
Oh, way out there.
Sounds like he's just a sliver wide.
Well then.
It looks a little heavy too. Looks hot.
Yeah, not. Probably not what he was looking for.
Yeah, he's going to be a little disappointed about that one.
They get choking now.
So just so everyone at home is aware that the winner of our sheet, as well as Paul Dexter and Graham Weagle, both of those winners will advance to the playoffs. So this is a playoff game, a cash game. So the winners of this game will be in the money moving forward.
A little bit of bling bling.
A little bit of bling bling.
Might be going out tonight making it rain a little.
They're not going to get the money until Sunday, so.
Preemptively.
No.
So it looks like this one's skating a little heavy on this line here as well.
Doesn't need anything. Just let her stop.
Should sit down just above T though.
Let it stop. Okay.
Pretty good. But if you are James Grattan, you can now corner freeze this on top and sit for shot. Or at least sit, as long as you're exposed, you can access it later.
Good shot. Stops the rock further, or rock shorter, sorry.
Just a little too deep.
Perfect, but it's pretty good.
Again, not detrimental, but.
Yeah, and I mean, this is not an easy shot. Especially he just missed his last draw, right? So, I mean, at least he's going to have the opportunity to
Redemption.
to get some redemption, right? But he's got to be pretty much perfect with it.
Yeah, I just looked over full on line. And then
All line on this one.
Half a second.
Line's
hard,
up, Ed.
too. It was-
Right here. Yep, Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's hooking in pretty good again.
Overbending. Come on. Come on.
It's over curling a little, if anything.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
Get up to sit for second. Ugh. So it is second shot, but it just over curled a sliver. Would have loved to be the exact same angle on the other side. Would have been really good.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Do you get a mirror once per game? Just take that mirror where it
yeah,
lines
yeah,
up.
exactly, right? I'd like to use my
matter where you
mirror
participate.
lifeline this end.
We're reinventing the game of curling over here.
Try it.
We're going to have lifelines now.
Right?
Yeah, it's too bad. I mean, he did get second shot, but it's
You just
going to be tough to remove that yellow and bring that red into play.
Even with
So,
our other one.
I think Brad's just going to look to
That's the side we throw
Even
all
with
those
shot
hits
rock.
and draws
throw
on
this,
two ends.
Split
get
the
shot,
rings.
exactly, get shot,
This
second
side, I
shot,
don't think we've used the whole
outcount that
game.
red.
Yeah, he'll look to split the rings here, and what you'll probably see James do is he'll probably just try to remove two stones, sit second, third,
Like, I wouldn't know
and
if
I'm thinking of tons of ice.
and force Brad to make something
I don't even think they would know.
to put it in the perfect spot.
Our guys. To give me a time? Yeah.
I think ideally he'd like to be at least even with these rocks, if not beyond that. If
Line's
he's
fine.
somewhere even behind T-line, that's
yeah, this
fine,
one's
right?
I don't think you want to be behind T-line.
Line's good.
James can still freeze on his first if you're behind T-line here.
Lots of curl on this rock.
Yeah, it's slipping
Cruising.
behind
As you can,
T.
Paul, far as you can. That's good. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's good.
So now you're probably going to see the freeze into that pocket right there. And that's there's a lot of
No matter
room
what,
you
I
need to
didn't
be.
mean
Slid really
she goes
good.
one behind the T-line.
I guess what when I was saying
good.
behind T-line, I was actually
That's where he
expecting
had
the
it.
rock to be a little bit more towards the forefoot, the
I gotta take a little
red,
more though.
Less buried.
like in the red,
Yeah.
right?
Right there.
Exactly. So I was thinking in my head, well, if you're probably like behind T-line
Mark,
in the
sorry.
forefoot, that's pretty
see
good.
that,
He's gonna maybe
see
have a
the
hit and
weight I
roll,
wanted.
and then you'll have a run back.
Yeah.
But that curled a ton.
That curled a ton. So now I think James wants to be, you need to be full back
What did you
four,
get for him? Yeah, you think?
but like full back four and at least nose on that yellow sitting shot.
That's about 4 inches more than him.
The big thing here is if you sit shot and kind of lock it in that pocket, you're going to have an opportunity for a
I don't
couple.
mind being a hair higher. Eh?
Maybe three if you
Yeah.
end up with the opportunity at that big in-off later.
Just get an edge on edge there.
Yeah, I agree. I think no matter what, Brad will, if he makes this perfect, Brad will have the same draw. Again, he'll have to make it perfect.
Or the short run.
Or the short run.
Line's good, all you.
Sweeper's got to drag this one.
curling, Mark.
Curls like crazy there.
So hard to tell. It just over curled, it looks like.
We lose it?
Doesn't change the shot much anyway.
A little
It's
sweeping, maybe? A little sweeping?
same ice, wasn't it? We were there, was it?
Not too
Had to
happy.
sweep that, eh?
Same shot.
Mark
needed a shot.
finished it perfectly at the
Had to hit
end.
the nose.
Yeah, strategic.
It's important. I will say this to everyone listening at home. It is important for the person who's sweeping behind the tee line to be sweeping on the correct side.
It's
It really
true.
is. Mark got that
just
little
hit it on
extra
the-
ounce of
I
curl,
wonder if we tap it a bit.
and now
I like
this
what
is
I
the
threw, so
situation.
I'll
So
try and give you a 4 or 5 feet
it's
less.
not uncommon, in my opinion, to see people sweeping on the wrong side behind tee line. It's easy
Yeah,
not to think about it.
I think one big thing on that shot there was that there needed to be a little bit better communication
Yes.
from the front end. That
Maybe we are
if that
shot,
weight
I
was
don't know,
coming
it
a little
doesn't
hot,
Mm-hmm.
to let them know so you can hold a little bit more to keep that angle straight, to keep
Yeah.
that for shot.
And weight was pretty close, right?
Yeah, it was really
I
critical to
agree.
be shot there.
Yeah, you had to maintain that line. I think they had to just they had to be on it a bit sooner.
Well,
Yeah.
either maintain the line or get off it a little sooner
Right.
and let it sit.
Yeah.
Make sure it's past our yellow. Gotta be past our yellow over here, Brett. Okay. Line's good. Line's good.
So no mistake from Brad here, right down to sit 1 and 2 it looks like.
Perfect.
Maybe 8 feet less.
And you'll probably see James just come right down for
Yeah, that was dumb. Okay.
his one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hear
He's
he wasn't
not
quite
happy.
content.
I mean, actually, to be honest, on our overhead,
Yeah, we had to make
it
sure we
just
shot.
slightly looks like it's yellow. It seems like it's pretty obvious to them out there it's yellow.
We'd like to point out the overhead cameras are not always 100% accurate.
Yeah, just try to sweep it and bounce it. We
If
just
they're
went off
not
the
dead
top.
centered over the rings, you can get a bit of a distortion on those
Little
angles.
less, eh? Little less
And it
weight.
looks like the camera's a little bit in
Really?
front of the rings here. So still a big shot here. Come down, make this for 1, and you'll be tied playing 6, 7? Playing 7 after 6. there we go.
Taking one in this end is not bad.
It's not the end of the world,
It's
you know
not
it.
bad at all.
Do you feel fine?
I feel fine.
Felt good, guys.
I feel great. He feels good.
So sweepers are keeping their heads down.
Doesn't have any extra, but mine didn't look very hard coming in.
Yeah,
either,
little
so-
legs on this one. Keep it moving.
We got the third sweeper out there, adding that 2%.
I agree.
Gotta go. Keep it moving.
Never in doubt.
16 seconds hog to hog.
You know.
No big deal.
It looks just there the whole way.
Just throw it there, Ice, right?
Supers don't even look that tired. Oh, maybe they are. We have Jamie taking a seat on the backboard here for a second.
Taking a quick 5.
Yeah.
This is a veteran move here. It's
I'm going to try that one sometime.
just biding
Just
their
a
time.
quick sit down. Just give me 1 second, guys. That's great. All right, time to throw.
So 7th end action in a nail biter of a semifinal qualifier. A qualifier, I
A
guess.
qualifier. It's weird because there's 2 A games, so it looks like it should be a semi, but actually, the winners move on, which is great. So,
Why is it great, Carly?
money. You're in the money.
It has nothing to do with the team that's in a fairly commanding lead on the other A qualifier, does it?
Everyone wants to be curling on Sunday. This is the goal. How to get
Line's
to
good,
Sunday.
line's fine. All you can, all you can.
Actually, you and I are due to be here Sunday morning for the
Oh, you're good. You're
Semi-
good. You're good. You're a good
semifinal?
ball. Don't waste
Yes.
9:30.
Braid-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Oh yeah.
So the center guard goes up. Gushu is going to play the come around here. Ideally, if you're Brad, you either want to get your deuce or a blank here. Looks like he's setting up for the deuce right now. And depending on what Grattan does, he'll have the option to bail out if things start to get a little bit problematic.
Grim. Whoa, just 8 foot, bite the 4. Yep. Yep. Just over curling a bit. Made a big move there, Hog. In. Good shot.
Shot. Line's good. Top 8. Top 8. Line's fine. Top 8 though. Sit. Sit. Now it's too late.
So that come around just kind of bounced a little bit off of the Gushu stone in the
full 8,
top
so you
8.
want about half of the 8 foot.
Looks like Gushu's going to try and come kind of right beside that a little bit. Probably maybe just tuck us. Yeah, I don't really want to get behind. Probably just come right dead beside it. We also have our first final out here. Team Murphy was victorious over Team Stuart Thompson.
Room, marks in if you're going to go. Yep.
So this one's hooking in pretty good here. He's going to bounce off that red. Just kind of rearrange them a little bit out front.
Okay.
Leaving Team Grattan sitting shot rock with Team Gushu with 2 flanking on either side and a long center or medium center guard out in front, kind of covering most of that red.
A medium center guard.
Well, you know.
I love it.
If we're going to reinvent the game, we might as well change the terminology too. Throw some regular weight.
Like that. Yeah.
So it looks like they just play the hit and roll on top here of the pile. Remove one of those stones and kind of pile up those reds. Right now, for Team Grattan, to get that force, the more red stones they have in play above the tee line, the better they probably are.
Jamie. Whoa.
So they make that hit and roll fairly nicely in there.
7/8. The out.
And so Brad is going for the bailout shot here. Going to throw a little bit of weight and try to clean things up, move some granite.
Yep. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Okay.
Oh, so they come through and just
That's
pick
fine,
out their
Brad.
own and lose the guard.
Never getting the 2 out is always there. So.
So it's not ideal, but not the worst. As Brad said, that one number 2 rock for Team Grattan was pretty locked in there with that yellow behind it. So now we're going to see some guards and some run backs, and it's going to get see some weight coming down here.
And it looks like we have our second final of the 4:30 draw. It looks like Paul Dexter was successful in winning their game.
Get your Kermit the Frog arms out. Woo!
Yeah, not sure what happened in the 6th then there, but they did have quite a commanding lead. It was 6-1 after 5, so Team Dexter does advance to the playoffs.
Just bite the line.
And the winner of our game will also advance.
Now you're fine. Whoa. Just whoa.
So this guard's slipping a little tighter than they would have liked it, I think, but in there not too bad. So again, you'll likely see Gushu step up and look for another run back.
Better off not bringing it too tight, right?
Going to try and get all 3 of them moving here, it looks like.
Don't worry about
3/4 gets rid of these two. A little less than that to get them all. 2/3 might do it. Yep. Hard. 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 Shooter. Shooter.
Not too bad.
Really nice shot. Gets rid of 2 reds, gets himself a corner out of it.
Maybe.
Yeah, and moves up that red rock in the rings as well.
Yep.
So now Grattan has to decide, do they want to keep living by those guards? Because, as he said, Gushu might choose to ignore that rock in the center and come around now at this point. He's going to go for one more guard, though, at least. We're on thirds first here.
Well then, clean it, just clean.
So I think with this guard, you don't want to come too tight.
Kind of like that.
It's probably too tight. I think we'll see some.
Want to make it this way? Let them come around this. We run it. 2/3.
So lots of thinking ahead in these shots. They're not just worried about removing the 2 stones. They're also thinking about where the shooter's going to go and what the opposition is going to do when they do it and what their counter to that will be.
Yeah, it's smart.
Whoa. Yep. Whoa.
This is why we call curling a bit of a chess match on ice. It's never quite as simple as just make the shot. So Mark Nichols makes that like it was just, you know, another Friday for him.
Just another Friday.
I don't think we want to bury it, but right here.
So James saying he doesn't want to fully bury the stone here. He wants to leave it a little bit exposed. If he does completely bury it, it will allow for the straight run back to leave Gushu Stone fully guarded behind it. By being partially open, they'd have to, if they were to play the run, have to be on a bit of an angle and would leave them a chance to make a play at it on their next one here. An easier play.
Might have to curl a little bit. Yeah, you can go, as long as it's not deep. Yeah, a little bit more. Come on.
So it gets that half buried, so it's a pretty good spot. Gushu's going to chase after it here.
Good solid hack.
Play that hit and roll to the open side.
Nice throw.
Yeah, it's a good shot. I like that
I'm hesitant to
Brad
bury it
can
perfectly,
see
because
half of
these
it.
guys do that so good, right?
Because no matter what, he's going to spill out into the
just do
open,
it
and Gran will
control.
actually have an opportunity
they
to
have 50%
potentially put some pressure on Gushu later on in this end, as opposed to coming directly behind the yellow rock and leaving an easy run back, right? So
Well, the other thing here is that they've got to watch not to nick off this guard. Sweepers are on this heavy.
Hard. Whoa, now, whoa.
Whew, just drag it by
Okay.
and just flip, so it's kind of edge here.
Not sure.
So
Having balls, so.
I
might be
think
also
Grattan's going to
something
try
there,
to
but-
nose this or just get a sliver inside it.
Yeah.
Again, he was saying before he doesn't really want to go dead behind it to leave that easy
How'd you feel?
run and bury.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
The one thing this does in Brad's favor is this keeps moving the stones up in the rings, making that run back shorter and shorter, or leaving that draw to the 4 foot if he ever were to need it as well.
exactly.
Same as Mark just had, just like.
Yeah, I would say it was on like half. Probably a little less than what I was expecting, but not much.
Whoa.
soft, but it looks harder. It looks harder than yours.
Whoa, 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 yep! Yep!
Yeah, it's on the guard.
Oh, it just overcurls a little and wrecks on the guard.
Just leave it, Mark. Leave it, leave it, leave it. Nose, he makes a double.
A tough miss at an inopportune time there for
Watch
Grattan.
out this way.
Yeah,
Line
it's a tough
was-
one for
line was
sure.
good
Through
early.
normal, that took its time.
I'm not really sure.
I think-
I
I
mean,
think
you always
it
like
was
to put a
awesome.
positive spin on things, but
No.
like you said, it was an opportune time
I
and
liked it halfway. I said, whoa.
Yeah, even rolling in a little.
an
makes
opportunity
it-
here for Brad to
Little tough.
possibly get 2 here in 7.
Well, it's
That's
sit
one
2
over
for
back,
right now.
yeah.
Depending on
Forward
where
weight.
he leaves the shooter, James will have a double back somewhere.
Or if anything, I might be on the harder
What's
side.
the ice for the double?
No, board, if anything, I'll be harder. Love to roll a rock or two towards center, but nose is certainly acceptable. You guys like that ice?
The outturn on the A. Felt too confident.
Just board? Yep.
So just nice, easy board weight coming down here. Sweeper's on it right away. Looking pretty good for nose, though.
Right.
Might get a little bit of a flip to the inside here. Make it a little bit of a steeper
Roll
double.
it, roll it.
Yeah, so rolls it there. It's probably
I
a
think to get the steep.
quarter
Got the
rock
one-
double.
I got the 1 rock roll. I got the 1 rock roll, not the 2 rock, but that was board, was it?
In there.
I've definitely been throwing boards. Mark's got a good board.
Yeah, we're
I think that was board.
yeah, we're kind of a little all over the
Like
place.
that. I don't know
So,
what
do you go for the double here, or do you ever try to just hit and roll in front of that yellow and make it hard for Brad to get to?
I go for the double because the hit and roll is the hardest shot to make in curling.
I gotta go in.
So you think the double is easier then?
I think the double has more room for error than the hit and roll. You could play the double with board weight, half rock with board weight. But if you ever overroll a sliver, they just have to. Well, they might not. Like, this might be a straight draw for 2. If you think you know the ice for the double, personally, I like it. They're discussing the hit and roll right
I know
now.
what you're saying. Yeah.
I like that. You'll make this. How to 101, how to instill confidence in your skip.
How to play front end.
You'll make this.
Inflate your skip's ego. The only thing I don't like about this is where they're choosing to have this conversation. I've always liked, if you don't agree with the call, to approach the skip before they get in the hack and to get into their mental routine.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all about systems, right? So I think, a lot of the top teams are having those conversations, at the beginning of the season, or if you played together for a while,
we're
you
just
say,
trying to make this
when
as
do you
tough
want
as
to have those
possible.
conversations
I'm
to
not really
change up
having
the call,
flags
right? Because
either,
like you said, you're getting into the zone, you're visualizing the shot, and
Yeah.
there's a time and place for that, right? So
Different players, depending on when you start your
don't mind the
routine,
end
sometimes
again,
some
just
skips
a
will
hair
start
more
their
weight.
routine as they're coming
think
down
it-
the ice.
I think that rock
And so
doubles, that's all.
you hate to be getting different things in your head and then all of a sudden not be in that proper mental zone
Right.
I think I gotta take a
of
little
your
less to get a
system to
bigger
make the
roll,
shot the
though.
way you
Back's
normally
not
would.
gonna roll very far.
like on some teams, you'll see
That's no control here.
one of the front end players stay towards the hog line at where the play of action's taking place to be there and have those discussions there. Every team's a bit different, right? So,
You
but
can see Brett down at the far end right now talking with
well,
Brad.
that's just it, right? So,
It's a big roll.
and we
so
see that a
it's
lot,
a goal at
especially
least.
with Gushu's team, that Brett plays a large role in the strategy of their team, right? So,
Maybe an inch. Yeah. But if you're a couple inches, then you throw peel and hit it on the
think this
nose.
is-
You just got to spring it really out of the 8-foot. That looks soft again.
So it looks like they changed their mind. They're going for the hit and roll here.
Wow! Yeah!
Lock it on the
Keep it
corner. Drag it
going.
over. Oh. Almost.
That's good. Just,
Noticed a little bit of sportsmanship there. Team Grattan indicated that they just touched the stone before it stopped as they were sweeping across the rings. Team Gushu said, yeah, it didn't affect what the stone did, and so it was left there. Technically, it would have been within their rights to pull that stone off the ice if they chose, because it was a touch stone while in movement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Under 2 inches. Perfect.
It's so funny. You're not wrong, but like
Just,
to me that wouldn't even cross my
sliver
mind. I'd be
high
like,
side.
of course, keep it there.
Oh,
I just
it's
like, but you're not wrong. Like some people would say, nope, take it away, right? So
yeah. The biggest thing is it's important that the offending team mentions it.
yes,
Because through sports, most teams, based on sportsmanship, yeah, that's where it was going to stop.
sure.
But they want to make sure that it was indicated, so you don't feel like you're trying to pull a fast one. Curlers can be very sensitive. So here comes Brad with the quiet hit. Has to be a shade on the high side here. Punch that redstone pass to get his deuce here.
Very hard.
Clean. Yes, hard. Clean. Hard. Clean.
And makes no mistake
Great shot.
to go up 2, coming home, playing 8. Now, things have changed a little bit in the world of curling. There was a time where you might take your deuce and go to that extra end. Most teams now are electing to, if there's any chance for that 3 shot, even if it's a bit of a Hail Mary,
That's the right call.
they're trying to win it here right now.
Blank's no
Yep, for
better.
sure.
What's the analytics say about a blank end there for you guys?
96,
Yeah,
97.
I love it. James is like, please tell me.
On this ice, it'd be a
And he
lot
has
lower,
the
but
exact
slam ice, it's
answer.
pretty easy. Easily that high.
Just talking some analytics on what the percentages would be had the blank occurred there, the odds of Gushu winning the game.
Right.
96 is not a great odd to go up against.
I think that goes in part to your comment just previous to that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I remember talking about the Briar last year.
Yeah.
It was like 10 or 12% or something.
And
10
a
or
lot
12% success
a
rate,
lot
I
of
think
teams
it
are
was.
using analytics
And then
now.
the further you go up, like the top 3 and 5,
Yeah,
it
even worse.
goes even higher. So.
Just like what they're talking about. I mean, it's what you need to do to
Okay.
get yourself to the next
don't know.
level, right? This is what these top teams are doing. I mean, these people are so good now. You get them on good ice, like you said.
trying it.
They're not missing much, right? So it's coming down to those percentages. I think that goes in part to what you were saying earlier,
got
is
to
if you
know.
have an opportunity for 3, what did the analytics say? Do you go for it or do you not?
Just over.
And how frequently should you be taking those opportunities? And these are questions they're trying to answer.
And from watching
don't worry
competitive
about
curling
mine,
the
don't worry
last
about
couple
mine,
of
just leave
years,
it.
what you're really starting to notice is
That's
teams
not
are going for hero shots a lot more often.
Yeah, okay.
What we used to call hero shots, at least, a lot more often now than they ever have, because of the odds of good things happening by taking those chances.
Just 12 foot. Line's good.
I think it's
Line's good.
fantastic that Brad's team with Jeff Walker
good, full 12.
not playing right now
Mark said if you're going to go.
in the last 2 tournaments, that they have been
Spur it up,
taking
spur it up.
juniors from Newfoundland to play with them.
Good boy.
I think it's just such a wonderful opportunity for these young players to get a little taste for playing in the men's game and get to play with Brad Gushu, who obviously a lot of these young guys probably completely idolize, right? So
Well, yeah, and I mean, these aren't just any junior players either. These are
Right.
quite successful players.
Yeah.
These are some of the future stars of the game, so this is giving them
Clean
a
it.
step ahead, especially out of somewhere remote like Newfoundland, where it is difficult to get ahead even as a good
Right to
player
the room,
because of the
right to
costs for getting out playing events.
yeah,
To
exactly.
get these opportunities to get this top experience, learn from one of the best teams in the world, it's just great.
Yeah.
I'll just put it there. And you guys
Just
can
super,
freeze
for
it to
sure.
the broom.
So we see the 2 corner guards
with
go
the
up
right.
here, and Gushu throws his 2 stones in the center.
Yep.
So while there are a lot of stones in play, this is the setup that Grattan wants to have a chance at his 3. He will need a miss, but lots of stones give him lots of opportunities.
Room. Room. Ryan's in. Stay close, Ryan. Gonna need some curl here, Ryan. Go. Yep. Whoa. Good shot. That's good.
So we get another center guard up. So this is very typical to what you will see in a 5-rock rule game, 2 down, playing 8. Your 2 corners for the team with hammer, 3 rocks up the middle for the team without. And now things start to get interesting. Gushu is going to switch most likely to defense, and then Grattan is waiting for a miss and an opportunity.
It's been really interesting since the institution of the 5-rock rule to see what teams are doing in order to generate their 2 in whatever end, but let's say because we're in the 8th end right now. You see a lot of teams potentially throw up a tight corner and a high corner. I think in the men's game it gets a little trickier because you could potentially make a double peel a lot easier. And more recently when I've been watching a lot of the games,
That's fine.
I've been seeing more teams throwing up a corner on each side now. The risk you're taking in that is just like with Brad's setup here is that he has now kind of taken control of the center. So I would say more in recent years, I've particularly liked throwing both guards on the same side. But I still don't know if we know exactly what the right answer is yet.
The only issue with throwing the 2 guards on the same side is more often than not, you're setting yourself up for a deuce.
Right.
By splitting these 2 corners up, you're hoping to set yourself up for a 3. This is more of the setup to try to win the game. Sweeper's got to hold this one. Got her by, good. This is setting yourself up for the 3 spot.
Good shot.
It's crazy how much that, I mean, the fact that he had that hit available, it's just so much curl. It's fantastic.
Yeah, now, that's not a bad outcome for James.
No.
It's a stone burnt, unfortunately. But it'll give him a chance to get around here and make good come around. This is this third's first?
Good luck.
No, this is second.
Jamie.
Second.
If his name was Jacob, it'd be Jacob's Tutu.
What?
Might want to go here.
Sorry,
on this one.
you're probably too young for that one.
No, I know what it means. I just can't believe you just said that on the stream. But
So he sinks that one in there nice behind
it's
that
a
guard.
really nice shot.
This way. Either that or this, but I don't love that.
Crazy late finish.
I also don't think that this is a terrible shot. Like, peel it, just make sure we get it over the top of this, even if you did that.
Yeah, see, I like this peel here. I like to open that up.
How much do you
I
have?
think you'd love to peel, roll it flat across top, and don't touch anything else.
Okay. Do you want to chase or do you want to do that? Okay, let's chase.
But these guys are pretty good,
Yeah.
so they're going to chase it. Try to squeak past that guard and make a quiet little hit and flip into the rings here. Eating away.
I mean, yeah. I think most teams would probably play the peel.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with chasing it. You got to play it tight. So if for some reason you don't get by, at least you get the guard. Plan B. The ice is so good,
All right, Brett.
and it curls so well
Whoa, Ryan, go,
that
go,
it
go.
makes these shots
Watch
possible.
the shooter, watch
It's
the
hard to
shooter,
score
watch the
3 when you don't have 3 stones in the rings.
Ah, shit. That's a bad spot. Okay. Okay, good shot.
So a bit of an unfortunate outcome for that. This is going to leave Grattan with a chance to come in and at least get one locked
Yeah,
in the
should've
4-foot
probably
area
kept
there.
Brett wrapping it, yeah.
Yeah, I think right on it for now. Right on it or else they just pick it. We'll play around here a bit.
So he's taking advantage of that rock that just slipped behind the tee line. Trying to freeze right to the face of it.
Yeah, this is a bit of a shift in gears now. You're no longer
it's on the
thinking you'd like to
corner.
get 3, you're hoping for 2. Now with the curl here, they're waiting for this
Stay
to
with it,
snap.
though.
They can't touch it till it gets off that corner guard. Just nicks it, but they might still be able to drag it right in there. Oh, are they going to get lucky?
Yeah. It's kind of what we call.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, if you take a look
This game's
before and
hilarious.
after, you can barely tell that anything else changed.
I know.
I'd say that's a 4 out of 4.
About a rock and a half.
Sounds like he was a little wide. He definitely wasn't
half to a
light.
third makes it.
Yeah, just a perfect combination to
fine.
not
I
get a
just
lot
get
of
it out.
curl, right?
Yeah.
So it worked out not bad.
It is wide open, so they're just going to try and rip this out of here. They might, if they could, they'd love to just tick that back one out of there and take that opportunity away on the next one.
Yep. Yes. Hard. Hard.
Sweeper's heads down, going.
Hard.
Ow.
Oh, and jams it back there. Leaves Grattan sitting 1.
That was extremely close to the guard, too. It almost looked like Brett was backing it up a bit, but
Yeah. So now it gets tricky because where do you put the stone if you're James Grattan?
I like something over here.
it looks to be that Gusha could probably see about half of that red stone.
Yeah, there's not a lot of good spots you can put your own red to sit second shot and not leave some sort of double. He's talking right now about kind of just putting a corner frozen guard, sit third shot on that stone there. And if, right there, sit corner freezing there, sit third shot. And so kind of force Brad to, at some point, maybe draw, make a mistake, and give him a shot for potentially that 3 and that win.
I like this.
I like this call.
Yeah, I agree. I do like it. It's a little tricky. This is a bit of a weird spot to throw a draw in.
It's weird, yeah,
You're,
for sure.
You're just out. It's rare that you try to hit the outside edge of the 4 foot, like the 4 foot line in the top 8, coming the outside way. So you have to be careful you don't over curl in this. These tend to really snap back hard from the wings unless you get out beyond it and they track forever.
Yeah, it's a hard hole to get through because of how much it curls, right?
Come on, go. Really gotta go. Gotta go.
Short.
Oh, that, whoa, whoa.
So no, the weight looks short here. So they're hoping just leave it as a guard, hopefully. But they're not really covering anything of theirs.
Wow, yeah, we can't hit our yellow now.
Yeah, a bit of a miscue there. You could hear James as the rock was coming down saying, hey, it's a little bit slower here. Now, whether or not that was communicated in the hack prior to throwing, it's hard to say, right?
It's part of why, as I said, that shot's so scary. It's an unfamiliar piece of ice. You don't really know what the curl's going to do. You don't really know what the speed's going to do. And you're trying to make a freeze, which is a very precision shot.
If I make it back.
And Brad's not wrong. He doesn't have a lot. He doesn't have a lot of this red, but
Yeah, there you go.
he should have enough of it that he should be able to sneak it out of there.
Yeah, if he doesn't throw crazy weight at this, he will get a little bit of movement as well. He should be pretty safe to not touch his yellow.
Yep. Hard! Whoa! Whoa! Clean!
So picks are out there, nice and easy.
Great throw.
I think that, panic yelling is just for show, really. He was never actually worried. Just putting on a show for the
I
fans.
think we just gotta get it buried.
He's
right
just
now.
really
I like
into the game. He's
have
he's
to
living in the
reread
moment.
this.
He's embracing it.
Yeah, I thought I had a lot more.
I
when
thought you
went
were a
down, but
little out here.
It
Yeah.
looked nice.
So right on the edge. Right
So
on
now this is Skip's first stones. Need 2.
Need to.
So, well, you don't have to be shot. You pretty much have to be shot. You do have some angle
I don't
hero
think
savers, but you'd love to be shot, buried, kind of
Right.
back forefoot.
Especially because of where that yellow rock is.
Well, is it? Can I judge it off?
You just
the,
need to make sure at least at a minimum can't remove your red, and
Because
then
that was, you were right. That
like
was,
you said,
I thought I heard you say
you kind of have to be shot rock at this point because you're not getting rid of that yellow. So
Okay. No,
Well,
if
you
I
need
can
to.
judge it off
You
that,
need
I'll be
to.
fine.
just a quick update because we are going to be off the broadcast here soon. Brent McDougall is leading at the moment, 5-3 after 7. He did steal one in the 7th end, so again, 5-3 for Brent McDougall.
Sneaky, sneaky Brent.
And as we know, that is the B event. Each team in the B event does have one loss.
It's not the B event because his name is Brent. They actually did sort them by name.
The Brent event.
Just in case you were wondering.
Line's good. Yep.
Certainly going to vary, I think.
So Lions coming in pretty good here for the come around. It's just a question of weight here now. It's buried in, nice and hooked.
Really
It's a
nice
very
shot.
good shot.
I don't think, I mean,
So we're going to
Anywhere
see
short bread is
what we call this the Fort William Follow 'em Down,
Yeah,
popularized by a young junior team, actually skipped by a fellow named Dylan Johnson back when his broom was taller than their entire team. True story.
Got her buried. That's all we needed.
Top 4, but anywhere short is going to leave him a pretty tough shot for 2.
Geez, that's buried around the top of the
really great shot by James there.
Throw
So
I threw 2 ends ago. Where you guys worked it to.
Yeah, there is fine if you, but we already had one there. So then you
So I was just going to say, the key to this shot is just making sure you're no deeper than biting top 4. You want to shrink off the area for James to be able to get in there for a second rock. If you're even just above that, it's okay.
Yeah, it's you want to kind of leave James with nothing but the wide tap on that corner guard, which is a really hard shot to try and get in there for his deuce.
Eats a curl, if anything.
Line's good.
So that's not bad.
it is.
It's it's tricky to get in there because there's so
Just
much
come down,
curl,
or-
right?
Okay. Well, if we went high side, we probably would have been okay. But
So
still, it's a tough shot for 2.
I mean, you could play the wide draw. Yeah, right there. I think that's your shot.
That's hard. That's really hard. Like, so I'm even thinking, like, what if you played the
I
intern
think they worried a little
in
bit too
out.
much about the line.
and try to grab a piece of the forefoot, like almost
I
like
think you'll
coming around the
overcurl.
corner?
I think you'll overcurl.
But what if you take enough ice to do it, right? Like play it to just miss that yellow rock.
Yeah.
And you bite. Just need to bite the forefoot, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you could definitely tap up that corner guard, but that's a really hard shot.
Intern squeakers.
You could throw, God,
You'd have to squeak both guards, though, really.
you could squeak it through and just spin down off that yellow with T-line weight. The yellow Brad just threw. Really skinny and play that hit and spin down on. Not easy, but
Yeah, it's quite precise for sure.
Because I don't think a nose does it. Hey? No.
they're looking at the run back over here. I don't know if you sit for second on the run back, though.
That's the shot you were just notioning at, to play the just kind of skinny off the yellow into the 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'd be playing.
Yeah.
I think I'd be trying to just squeak past that guard. And, I mean, if you could ever keep it straight, you could throw back 4-foot weight. If you just feather off it and down, you should get your 2.
It's the same weight he just threw. If anything, it's probably the straightest part of the sheet. So at least you have your best chance there. I think this intern is almost impossible. I think this is a really hard shot. I think this is actually harder than playing the outturn off the yellow.
So Brad just said that the only shot that he thinks
You
there
get to
for
the inside,
sure
but then you touch this.
is the tap.
You
And I
got a
agree.
little bit of room, like you can
But
just
it's
get
not
in, but
easy.
I don't know if you roll enough because with that spin, it's not going to move it at all.
I think I just think it curls way too much in this
Hit
spot.
this way,
I
roll with the B
don't
and club.
I don't think this is here. I think it's the out turn personally, but who knows? He might prove us wrong, right? So
It should because it should have a lot of spin.
you have to throw quite a bit of rotation to get through that hole. Because even once you're off that far red corner guard, by the time it gets into the forefoot, you're probably crashing into that yellow anyway, right? I'd have to think.
So yeah, you just heard Brad say the only way he can see is to chap it and spin
Right.
it down around.
Like just a little smooch
Yeah.
and roll in.
Ready for an extra.
Little kiss and roll.
A little kiss and roll.
Getting romantic in your curling, Carly. Is that part of your mixed double strategy?
No. Far from it. All right, so last shot here in 8. Lots of rotation. Giving it a chance.
Gotta wait for it to break off that corner guard. It's close. It's getting close.
Might be on the top one now.
Oh!
Oh.
Thanks.
And with
It was-
only one for
If
Team
it got by, it
Grattan,
was going to be close to that.
with
Yeah,
only
as soon as
one
it
for
got
Team
by, you
Grattan,
guys
that
wanted
is
to
a
go
win
hard
for
to-
Team Gushu.
I
So
think you might
Gushu
have
will
been
go
able
on
to,
to the
like, chisel it
qualifier
and
round,
like,
and
turn it
Team
in.
Grattan will drop into the B.
I thought it just.
Thank you
the
everybody
only
for
shot that
joining
was there
us
for
today.
sure was the-
Again,
the
I
tap.
am Tommy Bragnello here with
But
Carly
it's
Jones.
a one
We
in
are
10
the
maybe,
Bay
but-
team.
The
French
Bay
for
team.
something, I think. Anyway, but yes, thank you for being here with us. Thank you to all of our sponsors, to Steel Subaru. I don't have the rest of my sponsors here. Here we go.
close.
Superline Fuels,
I was thinking
Stu Sales
though,
Realty,
like,
Clark
without that
Painter,
guard
and
there,
Manulife Securities.
got tight to the
Great.
yellow,
It's been a
leave
pleasure,
it
Tommy.
almost
I look forward to our next
You almost
game
had to-
together,
you had to slide
4:30,
center
in case
and go
anyone
that way.
wants an encore presentation.
The A caliber Bay
Yes.
team.
Anyway, congratulations, Team Gushu, on qualifying, and we will see you on the next draw.
Thank you. Goodbye.